Welcome to the Cherry Picker, the horror movie podcast where we like to kill people, but not really. I'm your host, Zack Cherry, and with me as always is...
I'm not a whore. Eddie of Edward is Truth.
You are a whore, Eddie.
Darling.
We all are.
This isn't champagne, it's holy water.
Hey, we're talking about Showgirls, which is Randy Meeks' favorite horror movie, so
Yeah.
it counts, I guess. But it's also an amazing movie, and we just wanted to talk about it. And so did, like the viewers and listeners of the podcast as well. So it felt fitting. But I was gonna say that moment where she spritzes it on her. She was very like uncharacteristically non-reactionary to that. Like of all the things for Nomi to react to, getting like
Yeah.
spritzed with champagne. Yeah.
Well, she sat on it. She was strategic about it because then just a moment later she does the same thing, like goes and then just walks away.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of I can understand why you would appreciate this movie for a lot of things, but I think payoff might be a big one from a technical aspect because a lot of things, even within just a scene like that, like just like there can be an exchange that begins with something and then something will happen later. You'll be like, hey, it's that thing I remember you mentioned from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There is an attention to detail. I'd say it's not broad, careless strokes. They're kind of broad, meticulous strokes, if such a thing is possible.
Yeah. By the way, released September 22nd, 1995. So we're coming up
Hmm.
on 30 here. If you're turning 30 years old this year, you were born at the same time that Showgirls came out. Like, think on
You're
that.
yeah. Oh God. Let's hold people responsible for the movies that were released the year they were born.
Well, what do you,
Look,
okay, so for me, because
yes.
I was 85, I have The Goonies.
Oh, okay.
I have A View to a Kill, the James Bond movie, with Grace Jones.
Uh-huh.
I always remember that one. 85, 85. Those are The Goonies is the one that like I always think of the first, but
Yeah, I'm trying to
I don't
think. Do
know.
I think of anything from my year? I was alive for the last 3 months of the 70s, so I always kind of feel like my affinity.
Alien.
Alien. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
See,
Alien.
I win.
Okay.
Just from my vantage point, Goonies is
Yeah.
fine, but Alien, my
Well,
God.
I also in 85 was also Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
Oh, oh, well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I get all that jazz. That means something to me.
Yeah.
And let me see if there's one more. Oh, there's some, but I don't know. Oh,
Well,
Amityville Horror. Great.
Greg is telling me that Back to the Future also came out in 1985. Yeah,
That's
I mean
true.
it did,
Yeah.
but I'm not really
That's
about that.
not really your wheelhouse there. Ooh, the
I
Nosferatu remake with
Oh,
Klaus Kinski. I love that movie. Okay, I'll take it.
okay.
And
There you go.
The Muppet
Yeah.
movie. I'll take that. See, I
Very good.
win.
Anyway, and we were having this conversation earlier because it came out September 22nd,
Yeah.
and it pisses you off whenever I say that because I'll just be like, wait, what is that Virgo season? Um,
You called this movie a Virgo, and I'm like, no, you cannot categorize films
a
according
film,
to their release dates
yeah.
by signs of the zodiac.
Okay, well, here's a fun little game. Zodiac signs. What is Nomi Malone?
Well, okay, this is the thing. They actually do. I wrote it down, but I think it's a lie. Because I wanted
Yeah,
to ask you.
yeah.
Because I felt like while I was watching it, I was like, I put a big old question here for Zach. Is Nomi a fire sign just based off of that reactive, catalytic kind of thing?
Absolutely, yes. Nomi is fire energy. There's like you cannot deny it. She is
She's
either
like,
an Aries, a
no,
Leo,
yeah.
or a Sagittarius. And the thing is, I don't know because she kind of encapsulates qualities of all three of them. like the Aries, like definitely the reactionary,
Yeah.
headstrong aspect of her, the Leo, the like needing to be in the spotlight,
Yeah,
and then the
100%.
Sagittarius of just sort of like this this nomad Malone.
Well, also,
um
I know Sagittarians are kind of notorious for being loyal until you burn them and then you are dead to them, which seems the first part not so much Nomi, but once she gets burned, you are virtually dead to her.
I mean, that's
But
any song. I don't know you're speaking from personal experience, but yeah, Amethyst says July 3rd is what Nomi says, but surely she's
yeah,
lying. She
July
did
3rd, 1973.
73,
She said
yeah.
7373, yeah.
Yeah, she had to think on it for a second, but
Yeah.
she made up all that information.
Which
So
I never paid attention to that detail before this particular screening, so that's
yeah.
your influence
I
there.
think that like if I had to go by one, and just remember everybody, I hate every zodiac sign equally. Y'all suck.
If
Um
you were born, you suck.
if you're born, if your name starts with a letter of the alphabet anywhere from A to Z, you're a piece of shit.
So somebody with
um
an apostrophe at the top of their name might be
I
okay.
yeah, I maybe. I
What,
think
Nissa?
I think Aries. I think
Okay.
Aries, and I think that and just as a bonus, Crystal Connors is a
Yes.
Gemini.
Oh, because of the duality or the dichotomy or the duplicity, any
Yeah.
of those D
Well,
words that
she's just so much fun, you know? Like you just never a dull moment with her.
but and somehow all at once predictable, yet never.
So this is what I love about Gina Gershon. Because
Oh,
actually, like, we really want to, because Macabre, the movie
yeah,
that Eric and I have, I mean, we wrote and directed the short film, and we're working on the feature right now.
yeah.
There's a role that we would love to have Gina Gershon play, and the thing that Gina Gershon does really well, that's just like why I feel like she's perfect for this particular role, is that she's always like in all of her performances that I've seen, it's like she knows, like she's in on a joke,
Hmm.
or she knows a secret about you, but she's not telling you that she knows it. And you just like, it's on her face. It's just like she knows what's up.
Yeah.
And especially like in this movie, it's just like it's just all over the place. And that's like her character specifically, because she's kind of like this world that Showgirls exists in. It's just like it's very much a boys' club.
Sure.
And she's got big dick energy.
Yeah.
She may as well be a dude, but she kind of like goes in there and she just has like full ownership of like every space that she walks into, any
Hmm.
scene. It's just like she's just radiating this level of confidence. Um and it's just like nobody can fuck with me. And that's and she plays it, and that's not to say that she's one note or she only plays this one type of role, because I've seen her in
No.
many things, and
Hmm.
she's a very diverse actress, but she has that aura to her, where she's just
Yeah.
it feels like she just comes in and she just commands whatever scene that she's in.
Well, it's become a large part of the rhetoric that accompanies this film too. Whenever people discuss her contribution to it, the thing that I constantly hear is that she's the only one who knows exactly what movie she's in, and you get a sense of that from beginning to end with her character. Doesn't mean she invests less. It's just the way that she invests it and kind of doles it out and knows how to just kind of savor something and how to hold a pause and hold someone's gaze and how just to let a moment sit and just milk it dry and kind of straddle this world of melodrama, soap opera, nighttime telly, um, porn, kind of, like all wrapped into one. Um, I mean, she was never on Melrose Place, was she? Because
She
she should have
was. She
been. Was she?
was.
I
Yes.
forgot.
So
What did she
Gina
do on it?
Gershon was okay. Sorry, I just got really excited. Um, Gina Gershon worked at Shooters, which was like the local bar,
Oh
which
my
which Jake eventually bought and owned,
God.
I think, starting in season three. But before that, and I think she was only in season two, but she worked as a waitress with Sydney, Laura Layton's character,
That's right.
and she sort of like her name was Ellen, that was the character's
Mm-hmm.
name, and she befriended Sydney, and she was the one that essentially was like the gateway for Sydney to become a hooker. Because she worked
Oh.
for Lauren, who is like the high class madam
Yeah.
of Hollywood, who and Gina Gershon was one of the girls, and she sort of like
Oh
brought
my God.
Sydney over, and it's just like, here's this new girl, we can like
Right,
bring her into
right.
the fold. And she maybe was in like two or three episodes, and I don't remember what happened to her character. I think she just sort of like fizzled out. Like it just
Yeah.
her arc was she was basically just a liaison. She's just
Well,
like
right.
bringing Sydney. Lauren was like the real villain of that. So I don't
Sure.
remember Gina Gershon like having like an
An
arc per
arc. Yeah.
se of just like a character, just that they were friends. But like she
Right.
was on screen, and she was just like, of course, just magnificent, beautiful woman. Stole the show there too, being on there.
Yeah.
I now that I think of it, I wish that she was in it more. And I mean like I forget the actress's name who played Lauren, the call girl, but I mean like, and she
Hmm.
did an amazing job. Because I don't think I could see anyone else in that role. But if there was someone else, I could see Gina Gershon playing that character. But yeah, she
Sure.
she definitely needed to be more of a villain in that
Oh
show.
God. If only somebody had an eye, or if maybe her agent would have let her do more. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
what prevented that from happening, but yeah, it should have happened more. I should have remembered she was on that show. But I mean,
yeah.
you're right though. I remember her in the background of, I can't remember. It was one of those '80s teen movies, like, and it wasn't a John. Maybe it was a John Hughes. I don't remember though. It might have been Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It might have been fucking
She was in
shit.
Cocktail, wasn't she?
I didn't see that one,
Neither
but
have I,
like.
but I remember she was
But
talking about it
But
in an
even when she
interview.
was like in the virtual background, like this atmospheric character, she always kind of like buoyed everything up. Like she always had this ability to just kind of like, and this is something I admire actually another actor in this movie for, Kyle MacLachlan. The two of them are actually, you know what? I'm now that I'm talking about the two of them, I'm realizing like kind of like a lot of the same stuff that I praised like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Phillippe for doing in the first I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, and when we covered Cruel Intentions, the two of them
Mhm.
knowing exactly what movie they're in and being able to occupy it together and be these, kind of like sly
Yeah.
cats with each other. Just that's
So,
exactly who Gina Gershon and Kyle MacLachlan are in
yeah.
this movie, and basically in anything that they do. They both understand the temperature of what they're doing, and everything they do is to kind of like uplift the people who are around them. Though I will say, Gina Gershon absolutely owns her moments with command and like almost an imperiousness, that makes you believe that like even though she's just rising out of a stage, topless,
Out
just
of a
moving her
volcano,
arms out of a
erupting out of a
volcano,
volcano.
and just moving her arms and stepping this way, and there are people celebrating her, asking her, when are you going to Broadway? And she doesn't do anything. But I buy it. I buy that
Yeah,
people would pay top dollar to see
yeah,
that several times a night,
yeah.
because it's Vegas. And
So Kyle MacLachlan plays a character named Zack Carey.
I
Um,
noticed that too.
it's very, very close. But this was like Kyle's villain era
Yeah.
because I mean, he was kind of like he was in a lot of David Lynch, like Twin Peaks,
Yes.
obviously Dune, but he was like, he always played like a really like straight-laced, like not necessarily vanilla, because like David Lynch characters are always so strange and everything, but he was like the good guy.
Hmm.
And then like he did this and he did the Flintstones movie. So this was, and it was like mid 90, I think that was like 94, but this was the era where he started to be the villain. And I mean, I guess now he's just like the cool dad, the cool grandpa. at this point. Like
I mean,
he's like the grandpa that's like hip with TikTok and whatnot.
I'm trying to remember the last thing that I saw him in, but I mean, the last thing I experienced him, and not the last thing that he did that I saw him in, but the last thing that I experienced was my rewatch of Sex and the City, and I've paid very close attention to his character. He's Charlotte's first husband in that run. I
Trey.
think, yeah, Trey. And I
Yeah.
was just, and I never really concentrated on his performance because of like what I was just describing. He has this incredible ability to be in a scene and do everything that he needs to do and be doing it well, but not draw the eye because he's too focused on the other people in the scene. So that's where your eye goes. And that's who he was. So I tried to just kind of focus on him in all of Trey's scenes, and I thought Trey is like a fascinating character. But the thing is, the show's not about him, and I prefer it that way. And I'm like, it just made me think Kyle MacLachlan was the perfect person to cast for a role like that. Someone who
Yeah.
needed to be completely internal and being torn apart at these discoveries of, like, what do I have to do to try and save my marriage now and everything like that. Yet he's not the proactive one actively making sacrifices to save the marriage. He's just reverberating from it and trying to keep things nice. He just wants a simple life. And it's not because he's not a sympathetic character, your eye doesn't go to him, it goes to Kristen Davis. But because I was concentrating on it, I was like, I've seen this show like 6 times now. I'm going to watch you this time. Oh my God, the performance was, I was like, he's so connected, he's so
Mhm.
dropped in, and so just giving the other actors everything that they need to work with so I can sit there and go Kristen Davis, go Francis Sternhagen, go, whoever's on screen with him. So
Yeah.
I adore him and I adore Gina and I
Yeah,
love what
he
they
was
both did.
also he was a later season addition on Desperate Housewives. He played
Oh,
Marsha
right.
Cross's husband, and
Uh,
he's got a lot of range because he can do the comedy and then he can
yeah.
like flip it and he can be like sinister and
Mm-hmm.
scary. He can also
Yeah.
be like dorky and
Yeah,
like
he's an actor.
unassuming. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's fun to see him pop up here like completely naked as
Yeah.
well. The equal opportunity in this movie.
Both he and Gina popping up almost just as naked as each other,
Mhm.
basically. But and yet, okay, for the movie. But I mean, are we going to go into it? Are we going to do some
Yeah, well, I mean,
housekeeping?
let's do some housekeeping. Let's clean
Okay, okay, okay,
let's
okay.
clean this shit up because it's about to get dirty again.
Oh
But
God.
hey, if you're new to the Cherry Picker or if you've been listening for a while, you can give back a little bit more by heading over to my Patreon account, and you can join the lovely community of people over there. And you get a lot of benefits from doing that. You can join us as we record these as live streams. So, as you notice right now, if you are watching on YouTube, we've got the chat going in the middle. So, everybody's here to talk about Showgirls with us or whatever movie we are covering. You'll also be able to decide, nominate, and vote upon the movie or topic that we cover at the end of each month. So that's another bonus. And there's just a lot of other things, if you want to hang out with me once a month and do video calls and get bonus content. It's just a really great community, and a lot of people have actually met each other through this community and have become friends and gone on to do their own wonderful things. So, really great that we have that, and it definitely helps with the podcast. So,
Mm.
consider doing that. I do want to shout out some of these lovely folks. So to the Michael Myers tier, thank you, Kyle Beard, Ellie Hamouche, Shane Ellingham, Tim McKay, Stephanie Starbright, Horror Slut 95, Traj 125, Austin Hall, Michael Boswell, and Ghostface supporters. Thank you, Eric Champney, Sam Levy, Daniel Saturn, Brian James, Baby Ghoul, Garrison Nichols, and Craig Lynn. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Eddie, you got a premise for us?
Yeah, I want to say I meant to applaud silently for everybody, but I was reading. Um, my premise is here. What, any voice I should do?
What voice do we have in the movie?
I know for
That's
Showgirls, I'm trying to think like I could be like Southern, like Crystal, darling, say, okay, you try that.
Sure.
When a mysterious young drifter who calls herself Nomi Malone hitches a ride to Las Vegas, she finds work as a stripper before ruthlessly clawing her way to the top of the heap past all them other showgirls. Huh? Hmm.
My favorite, I mean, there's so many lines of hers
There,
that
yeah.
are amazing, but the one that like always stands out to me because she's sort of like, it's almost like Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs when he's like making fun of Jodie Foster or Clarice
Yeah.
and doing like the he's like all the way to the FBI like and
FBI.
all the it's at the very end when she's just like and you can probably do it better than me. The my lawyers got me a real
Oh,
good.
real good settlement. Yeah. It's just because it's almost, it's that weird kind of bragging that's not wholehearted. It's kind of stilted. It happens when like he's, I think it's when he just describes the guy, I forget his name, but the one who's running the whole thing. And I think it's when he's describing certainly Nomi, but I think he does it for her too. And he's just kind of like, she's exciting, she's this and she's that, and she's also very sexy, you know? And it's like there's nothing,
Nubile.
yeah, there's nothing, but there's nothing sexy about the way he says it. There's
Limber.
yeah. But there's nothing, even that would be dripping with something, but it's just
Yeah.
so dry. It's just like, and she's very sexy. It's like, oh, that makes me want to buy a ticket right
Yeah.
now. But it's, yeah, my lawyer got me a real big settlement. And I'm like,
My
okay.
lawyer like
Yeah.
that.
Gina Gershon should play Jennifer Jolie playing Gail Weathers in Stab, making another movie series based on. Oh my God, that's like a Matrushka doll of meta.
Yeah.
That now they start
Well,
making Stab movies about the making of the Stab
that
movies.
movie.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
mean, well,
hilarious.
I mean, speaking, I mean, Gina Gershon and other horror franchises. Craig is telling us here that Gina Gershon auditioned for the part of Tina in Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Which one was Tina? Tina was that the one who was played
Tina.
by the well, that's Part 7, but like the Voorhees actress?
Wait. Was it? Oh, I have a vague memory of this,
Yeah.
but and we might have even
The
mentioned
thing
it,
is that
but I
there's
don't
so
remember anything
many
anymore.
there are so many Tinas in the Friday franchise because
Yeah.
there's the twin Tina and Terry, I think were their
Uh-huh.
names in four.
Uh-huh.
There's uh
Tina!
Tina, the
Tina!
Tina, yeah, Lar Park Lincoln,
Yeah.
R.I.P. And I guess this other one, in
Amethyst
part,
would know. Um,
yeah.
Oh, also, where to see this before we go on. I streamed it off HBO Max. It's also available on Cinemax, which seems absolutely fitting. If you remember the days of Skinemax back in the 90s, that's what this movie feels like. Also, Vinegar Syndrome released a limited edition 4K Blu-ray combo 2 years ago of only 12,000 copies that I guess were all bought up and so popular
I
that it
saw that,
that
yeah.
in May of this year they dropped 4,000 more of the same
It's
edition.
the artwork was not good.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay.
That's the thing. I just like appreciate Vinegar Syndrome and all these boutique labels that do these, but it's just like, can we get like
Right.
better artwork and just things that are more fitting?
Well, you can
Uh,
you can buy the 4K, or there's also multiple Blu-ray releases beyond that, or you can buy the VIP special edition DVD set, the VIP edition from like 3 decades ago. No, it was 2 decades ago. I think it got released in 2004. And
mm,
just replace your 4K in the DVD case. But that one comes like with a whole lot of fun shit. Where'd my pictures go? I kept a
yeah.
photo of it.
While
So,
you're
but
looking
it,
for that, so confirmation
yes.
that she's the Bush scissors through the eyes.
Okay.
The
So
one
she
with
is the Voorhees chick.
Tina and Eddie.
Yes.
Yeah, who was cast by was it Deborah Voorhees, I think was the actress's name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
was a replacement too, because I think the only reason Gina Gershon didn't get the role was because of the nudity, because they were like, well, we want, you know, I mean, I think she's great, but they wanted giant, hump. So big breasts that the woman they cast, they were like, you're not big enough. Let's get Deborah Voorhees in here. And then finally got what they wanted.
Yeah.
And and then
Well,
the
Gina had the last laugh because she erupted out of a volcano
100%,
in the Goddess show.
she got
So
to be all
yeah.
kinds of naked in this movie. But okay, there
Yeah.
was a game poster, and I understand. I know my friend who got it. I bought it for him. It had Nomi, but there were also it's like editions littered in where you didn't get a poster like a centerfold basically of Nomi, but you also you would get one instead of Crystal. And you would get the pasties. You'd get two pasties, and it's like pin the tail on the donkey, but pin the pasty on the titty,
Mm.
basically. And then there's a sleep mask, or they call it a blindfold, but it's a sleep mask.
Yeah.
And there were two shot glasses and a deck of playing cards and some quote unquote game cards that I don't remember what you could do with them. But it was this great big box. It had Elizabeth Berkley like on the pole, like looking, down the barrel of the camera, like, hey, watch it, I don't know. Just, like not doing anything that she did in the movie, but it
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
We need more releases like that.
yes, those were the
Absolutely.
days.
And for this movie, absolutely. Because here's the thing. So this is a horrible script.
Yeah,
The it and that's really where it ends. I mean, if we're gonna talk about things that are just bad about this movie, it is not a good script. It's
right.
not a good script in terms of like just dialogue. Even though it is, but like in spite of itself, it's become so quotable. And you mentioned there are things that like, you know, pop up here and there and do pay off at varying points throughout the
Yeah.
movie. There's not really a structure to it. It
Hmm.
all feels very slapdash. It's just kind of like all mixed together, and it whatever it is. But the movie, just in terms of the style, I mean, this is Paul Verhoeven,
Yeah.
and he what nationality is he again? I know we talked
Oh,
about
I
this when
don't
we talked
know.
about Hollow Man. I mean, somewhere in Europe.
Eastern
And
Europe.
yeah, but it's just like he's got that like European vibe that he brings to it, and everything is so like it's just doing that thing where it's just like everyone is so emphatic, especially Elizabeth Berkley in the
Yes.
performance, and it's just like you can't watch this and not just be in wonderment of everything that you're looking at and hearing. So, I mean, I think that just based on like those reasons, and that in spite of itself, it's just sort of become this cult classic. Like this is a fantastic movie. Like this is probably one of my favorite movies of like non-horror. I mean, unless you're
Hmm.
Randy Meeks of the 90s, like it's definitely up there. This gets a heart from me on Letterboxd.
Okay. No, I think didn't Randy say it was his favorite scary movie, not horror movie? So maybe that's what it
What's your
maybe it
what's your
scared Randy.
favorite
Favorite
scary
scary
movie?
movie. Yeah.
Showgirls, absolutely frightening.
Yeah,
That's
so it was
yours.
I understand why it would
Yeah.
be scary to Randy too. Like, I mean, he obviously like, isn't like knocking it out with the babes, and his, first sexual experience probably wasn't something he envisioned in a pool with a woman, drowning herself like a flopping trout, basically. I know a lot of straight guys who weren't turned on by that, but I do agree with you in terms of just like the because while payoff is certainly a thing, it's a feature, not a bug. But at the same time, is it enough to save a movie, or to save a screenplay? To be more
Mhm.
specific to your note, for me, this is the thing. At a certain point, I feel like I completely abandon any story. And I stop processing progression and tracking where we are, what's changed, what's happening, and I just go into strict absorption mode. I just kind of relax and just let the movie happen to me. Like, and it happened again with this screening because I watched it earlier today. Uh, uh, I always need like a handy wipe for my brain after it's over. Like not even a jump start because it doesn't deaden my brain, but it just does make me feel tacky and cheap. And I did make a discovery this time watching it. I cannot eat watching this movie because I got hungry at about maybe the half hour mark. And I was gonna get up and go get myself something to eat. I had a breakfast sandwich sitting on the counter, and I didn't go get it. I couldn't. It was too. I was like, well, okay, maybe I could do it after this scene. And one scene after the other, it was just like this. I mean, it's not like it's okay, this is the thing, because I'm not offended by what some might perceive as the overt sexuality in quotes of the movie, because it is overt, but it is not inherently sexual to me. Because there's nothing human about what's transpiring. It's more like a human interpretive dance depicting consumption of passion or lust. Like it goes into weird abstract kind of like not quite well executed art house kind of thing. So I mean, it's because it's not reality. It is 100% not reality, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about the near consistency of the movie. I'd say almost from beginning to end, I feel like it is obviously one universe and one tone. And the only bit of tonal inconsistency for me is the assault on Molly. That's the point where I'm just kind of like, my fun kind of stops, and then until she reveals herself at the party, like then that little bracket of time in the movie, I'm not having any fun. I stop having fun at that part. And then once Nomi decides to go back on her batshit mission to fucking what's his name? Andrew Carver's hotel. Then we're back on track.
Okay, so it's like white Jason Momoa.
Or or at the time, I remember thinking he was supposed to be like a cheaper Michael Bolton,
Yeah.
like can still fill stadiums, but the women are dressed tackier when they when they go see
Yeah.
him in concert or something. But I mean, that's what I got just with the hair. We never see
Yeah.
him sing a note, and he is supposed to be a
Yeah.
singer, right?
I think so. I don't know. It's just like it's
These people are just famous. Like
yeah,
same thing with Crystal. She's just famous. We
famous
don't
for
know
being
why.
famous.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
coming out of the volcano.
Well, the okay, so Siskel and Ebert famously quoted saying that this movie was all about Eve in a G-string.
Oh God. I mean,
And I mean, in terms of like the all about Eve
right.
templates, because we've talked about like single white female uh
Hmm.
was one of them, and there are definitely elements to that, but it's like it's not the whole film. It's like I feel like with Showgirls, like I'm watching a movie that has several movies within it, because there are through lines that just like you said, they'll like happen and then they'll disappear and then they'll pop up again. Like everything with James
Oh
feels
God.
completely inconsequential to anything happening in this movie. Um, almost to the point where, like, if you took him out, I'd probably it it wouldn't. I don't think it would like change the overall DNA of Showgirls,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of like their interactions and stuff like do contain like a lot of like the really funny bad moments and just like and bad storytelling. And I had to look it up because there's like obviously this is like such a you thing, but like this is written by a man, um
Yeah.
which I think is hilarious because there's so much um talk about periods within it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just like there's like you could probably take apart the script and maybe about like 7% of it is talking about being on their periods.
I can only sum it up too when she lied about being on her period and getting blood all over the clientele so she could go do the infamous and then and then the other one is when she was actually on her period and she couldn't be with James and she told him to check and even that was done in an quote unquote erotic
Yeah.
fashion like it was still she said it in a sexy voice check while
Well,
she's on top of him.
even when she was telling Al's the name of the the manager, the cheetah, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
when
yes.
she's like, I was on my period. Like she's saying it in a very
Yeah.
like sultry,
Oh
like
God. So
um
apparently, I wonder if that says something about Paul Verhoeven too, because I wonder if he
yeah.
directed those deliveries from her.
I mean, it's but Paul Verhoeven at this point, it's just like everything is like super psychosexual in his movies that it's just like it's his thing. But I think that the writer, I have to look up his name, but he also wrote Basic Instinct. So they
Mm-mm.
were, paired together for a second time here.
You can feel it
I
in all the lesbianic stuff with Sharon Stone's character in Basic Instinct for sure.
Mhm.
Like the nightclub atmosphere and the way she treats it. She kind of holds dominion over people there the way Nomi would like to when she's not, but she's too busy doing
Yeah.
whatever those broad, again, those wide arm, open stance, trance-like moves that she's doing. All I can imagine is being around Elizabeth Berkley while she's doing that take after take and just the flicking of the hair and just getting her sweat all over you if you're an extra in that scene, like all the people around her. Just think of those poor people, and probably, I
Yeah.
bet you anything somebody got slapped. Sorry, go on, make your point.
No, no, that's totally cool. I watched this uh 6 months ago or more than that
Okay.
because it was I was visiting my mom in Toronto and this would have been
Oh
like
my
part
God.
like November of last year and I don't think she'd ever seen this movie and I'm
Oh
like
my
hey
God.
we should watch Showgirls um and I put it on and she was like mortified at first
Yeah.
and she's like, why do you think that this is a movie that you should be showing your mother? And she's like, this
Yeah.
is all like TNA and TNP and so I'm just like, well, like she was just saying this is pornographic. I'm like,
Oh,
no. Like
just wait.
this is not a movie. This is not a porn
No.
movie. I mean there are, body parts for sure, but I mean, we're not seeing the intercourse. We're not seeing the insertion of anything.
It's all simulated. Yeah.
It's the story. There's a story here, be that as it may, but it's like it's high camp, is how I describe it. It's just a really entertaining movie.
Hmm.
Um, and she sat there and proceeded to watch the entire thing. And at the end, she's just like, yeah, that was pretty good. For
Oh my
context, she's
God.
74
Oh.
years of age. But yeah, I think like we've watched a few things together in the past that she's used to that, and especially with me like horror movies that I like. There's nothing
Hmm.
really phases her, and if she is, it's just like stop pretending. You can handle this. Um, but it's yeah, that's just how I look at it. It's just there's it's a it's a movie that's really about nothing. It's like the Seinfeld of movies. It's a movie about nothing, but there are plot threads within it that don't really go anywhere or amount to
Uh-huh.
anything, and like the whole thing, because it's like if you were to like bookend the movie with her kind of like getting into that guy's truck and then like
Yeah.
her getting back into it. It's just like she's running away from something, and I guess the revelation that what's her Polly is her name Pollyanna,
Oh yeah.
and her father murdered her mother and then killed himself, and then she was in foster care and then became a hooker and all
Right.
this stuff that's supposed to be like this huge reveal that's just sort of like, so what? Like she was thrashing around fries earlier.
Right.
Like she's already nothing this woman does surprises us. Why do you think that this is going to be like this huge revelation that we're going to be like, oh my
Right.
God, that's who Nomi Malone is?
No, you're more
Nomi
just kind
Malone is
you're more likely to just kind of go, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But I also but you know what? I think one thing because you mentioned camp and we covered another one that I think shares a similar kind of pattern in one of our After Dark episodes with Mommy Dearest, because I remember you
Mm.
talking about how that one, it's not really a story, it's more just like a series of vignettes of like, different, like, okay, so the cycle of abuse begins again until we cycle at the end, and then we find ourselves back at the beginning, and it's just a spiral watching, okay, how is the abuse going to manifest itself this time? For me, it's because it's less concentrated. It's not just about like a relationship between two people. It's about how Nomi, her ripple effect on the world around her. And I think for the first time with this screening, because I was watching it like an actual film and not, just to have it on. For the first time, I recognized Nomi kind of wrecks everything. She she goes into Vegas and then she gets swindled out of her suitcase basically by just kind of being handed $10. It's like, wow, he's giving me money. I guess I can trust this guy. I'll go see if I can win. And then she wins big. And then she loses, like
Mm.
immediately, like the dream is doused. And then she's like, wait, I've been waiting for that guy for a while now. Oh shit. And I love that she runs back to the parking space to find where his truck was. And not only is the truck not there anymore, but no one has parked there to emphasize the fact that there was a truck there and it's
Yeah.
not there anymore.
Well, hold on. Not only does she run back to the space, but she runs across traffic.
Yes.
Almost like the number of times like she almost gets killed,
Oh
and
yeah.
like Molly saves her life
Oh yeah.
essentially at the beginning.
Hmm.
And then there's that another lesbianic like puke
Oh
encrusted,
God.
like not
Yes.
kiss, but just like very like close, tender embrace. Um,
Justice for Molly, but
but
for all the reasons. But yeah, no, because she also, that's the thing, is like then she starts hurtling herself against Molly's car. Like a
yeah.
savage. Not
Well,
even like a savage, because savage would make sense. They would just be aggressive. She's just like this. I don't know. She's a what is this that I'm doing? What is she's
I just
a
she's just thrashing. She's
she's
just
a thrasher.
thrasher.
That's what she
Yeah.
is. She is a thrasher shark.
Yeah. She's
And
like one of those wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube
over at
things. Yeah, yeah.
the car lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Labor Day sale. Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she except aggressive, much more
Yeah.
aggressive. But she okay,
Well,
so that Molly then falls under her spell, I feel,
well,
because
Molly is like I question her like capacity for like just decision making as
yeah.
well because it's just like what you just met this girl like okay I understand maybe you want to buy her a meal because you feel sorry for her and you just saved her
Hmm.
life and whatever happened but it's just like she goes from 0 to 100 just be
Yes,
like well why don't you come move in with me
I know.
and then the rest is history and then but then Molly's also like because it's 6 weeks later. Also, did
Yeah.
you notice that it's Halloween night when, and this is the
No.
first time I've ever noticed this because I was watching it and I was hearing like the background sounds
Oh no.
and they're sitting there like in the whole like where are you from? Different places, but you hear kids and like trick or treat,
Oh,
like
I
there's
know. No, I did not hear
yeah.
that. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I'm guessing like does that make this a Christmas movie? Because it's like 6 weeks later, so we're now into December.
Just like
Um,
Psycho. Just like
yeah,
Psycho.
yeah. So everything's kind of happening like Christmas time and New Year's. But yeah, it's just like Molly is the next time we see them and she's like, okay, I have to go to work. And she's like, well, why don't you come with me to what like Molly's kind of enabling her in
100%,
a way, but
yes.
then she like invites her to come over. I don't know why. It's just like I want to show off my roommate to all the people I work with, knowing that she's a loose cannon, and then having that moment with the infamous like I don't know what you think you're good at, darling, but if it's at the cheetah, it ain't dancing. That, like
Right.
you don't know shit,
Yeah.
and
Very
then
Chucky.
You don't know shit. Molly being like, "You're gonna get me fired." I'm like, "Bitch, don't bring your psychotic roommate to the goddess show." Like,
Well,
what are
she
you
just
doing?
probably thought she was lucky that she didn't spontaneously vomit all over people and then just glop ketchup all over everything. I was laughing. I was laughing so hard. But oh, because then also after that, okay, she sees the show, she does the infamous boom boom. And
Which,
yeah,
because we talked about burlesque. Well, like,
yes.
it's just even though this predates it, I was just getting that image of Christina
Oh yeah.
Aguilera when she was like waiting the tables and just like doing the thing in people's
Right,
faces.
right.
Yeah.
I will say I think burlesque aspires to this to be this movie. And I don't think it's a great film. I think, or let me put it this way, because we kind of got into this, like, I don't even
Mhm.
remember if it was on pod or pre-pod, but we
Yeah.
were talking about Showgirls as a film and about like whether it was Paul Verhoeven's intent for the movie to be received in the fashion in which it was. And I feel like this was just him hitting one key harder, but not, or one key higher, but not not with exquisite mindfulness. I don't think he was putting together like his masterpiece, thinking this is the one they're gonna remember me for. Ironically, wink, wink. I think it was really just kind of his next project, and it just kind of it got enough wrong in the right way so it became a legend. And that's my attitude about it. What about you?
Well, just trying to remember the trailer for it and the trailer voice because I think he's just like first because talking about Basic Instinct, wasn't it like first he took you to the edge
Sure.
and now he's taking you over it or something like that. Um, I I mean the thing that's interesting about this movie is that it was a it was a box office bomb. It
Yeah.
failed
Yeah.
miserably and probably, I'm not probably because it was NC-17 and it was just like, no,
Hmm.
we have to have this. I don't know if like I don't even think they made an effort to do an R-rated version or they might have. I should have researched this and they're just like there's no way we can even like to cut it up, like it still wouldn't have even been an R, so they're just like, fuck it, let's we're doing NC-17, just go at it.
They're
And well,
keep going, keep going.
yeah, and it failed. Like it didn't make
Yeah.
any money.
Yeah.
But once those home video
Hmm.
sales, like that market came around, it made like over $100 million. Like, because
Right.
everyone's like dad was like secretly buying a VHS, probably like taking it home.
Well, also, and it makes money off of the cable as well. They
Yeah.
ran it on commercial cable, like stations like E and VH1, I remember, and they did this altered version where, of course, there were always those versions if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and probably in the 2000s too, I would imagine. But I remember just growing up seeing, movies like Breakfast Club where there's a lot of cursing,
Mhm.
seeing the original because my parents knew I could handle it, but then watching it when it would air on a Saturday afternoon on Channel 5, and
Mhm.
instead of like Judd Nelson saying like, I don't know why I should sit here with you fucking dildos any longer. And instead of saying that, he says, I'm not going to sit here with you stinking dummies any longer because somebody
Yeah.
like looped over a voiceover, and it made him seem so less, Judd Nelson seems so much less tough in Breakfast Club. So you watch
Mhm.
Showgirls, they take out all the cursing, but they also had to cover up breasts. And there are so many instances of bare breasts in this movie that they just did these CGI globs over the breast. So when they're in the black S&M gear with the chains and the vinyl and the leather and everything like that. They would just kind of covered the breasts with these like clouds, these black clouds that loomed over the breasts and would follow them like in and out of shots.
So,
And it just looked like women were these alien creatures who, when they disrobed, their chests just became these black holes, you know? Like you
yeah.
could just, yeah.
Speaking of that number, which I'm just like the motorcycle
Oh
S&M one.
yeah.
Why? Okay, is it just me or does like all the performers, and this is like Gina Gershon and
Yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley included, that they just like they look like Christine Baranski, but like just like black wig or it's
Like
there's
when she
even
was in Mamma Mia.
but even like well, I don't think she had a black wig in Mamma Mia, but just sort of that like
Yeah.
bob cut, but they're
Yeah,
just
she
like
had a
the
bob with it was Rose Brown, but yeah.
but the makeup and like the it just like it was just giving Christine Baranski and or like maybe like Moira Rose. Um
No, yeah,
yeah,
very
there's
severe
a
lip, severe
yeah.
brows. Yes.
Okay, so what did we because they said like you're gonna have to go up these stairs 6 times, so I think that that meant that there were
Hmm.
6 numbers altogether. First, so what is Goddess? Like, what is this show? Is there like a narrative, or
That's the
is it just sort of
question.
like, yeah,
No, I
like
think it's 6 numbers, and one of them, they're all volcanic and kind of learning about their
yeah,
sexuality when the
it's
goddess
the
kind of
dawn of
unearths.
time,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
right.
yeah.
It's the
There's
2001 Space Odyssey of
yeah.
Vegas ballroom culture.
And is that where they have like the monkeys come out? Like, which
Yeah,
is
then there's the chimp, I guess, is maybe the intermission, like for the dancers, but
yeah,
not for the audience, maybe? Because there's monkey shit on stage mid-show that
yeah,
has to be, and they keep calling them monkeys, they're chimps, but
yeah.
they're like, monkey shit down stage left, you know? Like, so they got to watch out for the monkey shit because there's no time to clean the stage.
Did that one girl have to throw the diamonds on the thing? Like maybe they could have just slipped on the shit.
Yeah, right? That would have
Was
been,
it?
oh, that would have been one level grosser.
Yeah. But that was a number, like the whole like
Yeah,
whatever with and I guess that must have been the last number, I'm assuming, because
because
Gina
the way
Gershon
they
is
look at the end,
well,
yeah.
Yeah, Gina Gershon is being lifted
Hmm.
up, so she's always like ascending. But
Right.
also the fact that like the woman falls and she's like just having the Nancy Kerrigan
Yeah. What's her name?
moment.
Is it Anne? I think her name's
I
Anne,
don't
the
remember. She's like,
dancer.
but like, I guess they just leave her on the stage there.
For the
So,
remainder
so
of the
that I
show.
mean,
It's on the curtain call.
that must have been the last. That must have been the last number. Else they're just like, just leave her there. Don't touch her.
Well, because the thing that makes me laugh even harder about that is like the audience is completely gone now.
Yeah,
So they've clearly ended the like finished the show, come out and done their curtain call
yeah,
while she's still laying on the stage. And then finally, as the audience is like getting, because it takes a while to shuffle out of a theater is another
yeah.
thing, especially if you've been drinking like in Vegas and everything like that. But just to
Mhm.
shuffle out of your row and then go wait to go up the aisle, out the exits and everything like that. So she was laying there for a while, not being moved, without a doctor, without a curtain to come down and just kind of mask what was going on. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, in answer to your query, I do not know what the show is, except that it's an extravaganza that I wanted to ask you about, because when we're introduced officially, like with the name and everything of Crystal Connors, because that's another thing I love, is that Gina Gershon's first entrance in the movie is not even an entrance, it's basically an exit of the back of her head. So there's mystery, involved
Mhm.
around like who's that star? And every subsequent viewing you know exactly who it is and you're just like, "Oh, there she is." But then okay, so she does a musical number, then afterwards she's being introduced after she makes Naked. And that's when they start saying, "We could have had Latoya. We could have had," did he say Suzanne? Because I thought he said
Well, I think there's like Paula
no, that's
Abdul.
later. He said Janet
Okay.
Jackson
Yeah.
and Paula Abdul later when they're looking for
Yeah.
replacements for her. But in the beginning, when I could have sworn he said, "We could have had Latoya, we could have had Suzanne, but no, we wanted Crystal Connors because Crystal's the best." Ah, cha 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 cha. Anyway, and I'm like, Latoya Jackson, obviously. I don't know how many other famous Latoyas there were in the 90s. And she was doing like Playboy and stuff like that. So, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. When he said Suzanne, I thought the only one who came to mind was Suzanne Summers. And all I could think is just
Maybe.
like, how magic would that have been? Because I'm a huge Serial Mom fan, and I love when Suzanne Summers comes in because she's gonna play Serial Mom. She's gonna play Kathleen Turner's character in it, and I'm like, oh my God, how incredible would it have been if like Suzanne Summers were just like in a cameo, like in talks, just saying, no, no, I'm not done. I can't do Goddess. I can't. Don't ask me. I'm not stripping. I'm not at that stage in my career or whatever. While she's doing a Thigh Master or something, but and then
Now you're
people are. Yeah,
now
but
you're just making me because of just what we were saying earlier. You're making me want a Parker Posey
oh my
understudy.
God. Someone's gonna pay for this. But also I love that they're asking her about Broadway. Like, there's anybody who gets famous for being topless on Broadway, and she just answers in strides. Like, and I think it's kind of like an underscore, like more because the camera moves. But they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Crystal, you gotta be on Broadway." She's like, "I've always wanted to play Broadway," and I'm like, "Not with this show. This would not." This would not fly in Times Square, you know? Like, but anyway, but then like later, yeah, when you bring up the point, like when they were discussing a substitute, they're like, how about Janet or Paula Abdul is how
Yeah.
they pronounce her name, and I'm just kind of like, neither of them would have done this shit. There were
Yeah.
interviews from this exact period where they're asking Janet Jackson about like what she does and it being compared to Madonna or whatever, when Madonna was at the height of her erotica and Justify My Love and Sex Book and Body of Evidence and all that. And Janet just replying, I think when I do, there's class to it. So no, there's no way that Janet Jackson is going into
Yeah.
Goddess, and neither Paula Abdul either, you know?
Imagine that. Okay, so let's just say that the events of this movie actually happened in real life, because I could see this being like a Netflix documentary or something where it's just like the mysterious Nomi Malone. Because if you look, like, just step back and examine the events of the movie,
Yeah,
because she just kind of comes out of the ether. She shows up one day, starts working as a showgirl on Goddess, becomes the understudy, and then before she is officially like relieved of that, or to having that promotion taken away, the headliner of the show has this horrible accent, and she's taken out, and then Nomi steps up, and I think that like in we only see one show. I
hmm,
mean, there might have been more because, like, what is the timeline of this movie? Like,
right, right,
it doesn't seem to exist. But we only it seems like she has the one show, and then there's the big party with all like the Andrew Carver stuff and Molly,
sure.
and then she goes and like gets her revenge, and they because they don't have her social
Security number, yeah.
security number. Yeah, so it's just like they're like, how is she even getting paid for one? But it's just like it feels like things haven't happened. But when she's leaving town, there's this huge billboard. Like, they've already committed to Nomi Malone as the
Yeah.
star. So it's like they've put all this money into this, like, just changing everything and just like advertising Nomi Malone, and she skips town
Yeah.
and is never heard of again. Nobody knows where she went, whatever happened to her. So I can just see this being like a thing where it's just like it was the thing that like bankrupted the Goddess show in Vegas or something. And there's just this like the people from the past, like you'd have like Molly, she would show up on this documentary and be like, yeah, I know, like, I was in the hospital and she gave me my stuffed bear and I never heard from her again. I don't know where she is. Know me
And
if
she,
you're out there. Yeah, like,
yeah, right. She told me it ain't a party without me, and then she just abandoned me completely.
yeah.
But no, yeah, this is all part and parcel of what goes hand in hand with being associated or affiliated with Nomi Malone in any context. I think she wrecks stuff. I think she wrecks people. She's certainly, like, she's the whole reason Molly
Yeah.
went to the party. I'm not going to blame Nomi for what happened to her, but then she thought she was going to make things better by, by kicking the shit literally out of a pop icon. And I guess that's another thing. She has to evade the cops because, like, she's going to be tried for that. And she's not going back in the
Yeah.
hole, so she
I think that we need a sequel,
well,
but
we have
like,
one.
well, that's not official, but we'll talk about that in a second. But
Yeah, yeah,
we need
yeah.
a sequel with investigative journalists trying to track down
Oh my God.
Nobi. Okay, look, everything is getting a requel right now.
Yes.
Why can't Showgirls have
Oh
a
my God.
requel? They
I
will
want
do it in a heart. You can get Kyle back. You can
I
get Gina back. You can get Elizabeth back. They will all do it.
I
And
want
and
Elizabeth Berkley with long white hair and
yeah.
glasses and a denim shirt, pulling a chair up, flipping it around, but flipping it like a dancer, like, and then sitting like a dancer, very Fosse, and then just kind of
Sitting
like,
like James's show with them in the chairs.
yes, yes, just sitting there and just kind of like, so, what's up? Like whatever, still putting on her tough
You don't
airs and everything like
you don't
that.
believe in the goddess show?
Yeah,
Well, you,
right.
you
Well, you
should.
should. Oh my God. And then the whole thing can just be her telling us what happened when she got to Los Angeles. Oh my God. And then having to face, like the consequences of like the
Yeah.
the reverberations of everything left in her wake. But
Mhm.
no, because that's the thing, because obviously the show now is going to be ruined. So Kyle MacLachlan, Zack is ruined. And
Mhm.
then she also, I mean, again, I can't blame her, but I feel like she is kind of like a jinx. Like she is kind of a bringer of bad luck because she is quote unquote the reason, like this is within the script, she's the reason that James got fired from his bouncer job, which he shouldn't have had in the first place. But so then he has to move on to parking cars, and then she quote
Yeah,
unquote gets
ballet.
him fired from
Yeah.
that, and then he ends up doing a
The,
show that nobody
the
likes with Penny.
Yeah, the thing with like this romance, if you can call it that, they actually deserve each other. Like I feel like they're actually a really good fit.
Except, well, okay, question. Aside from when she tells him, you can dance. I love the way they see each other, is that they recognize each other's dance prowess.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, she can dance, can't she? I laughed out loud when he said that line because she is full on, like, just that air thing, that,
Yeah.
that sock, that wind sock. That's what they're
The
called.
wacky wavy and
Yeah, the
the
wacky
arm.
wavy.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing. She was
Well,
doing the wacky wavy on the dance floor, and then she's like, "Well, show me you can dance." And then he's just doing boom, 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 like little hand movements, and then she's like, "You can dance."
she
Okay, so aside from that moment, does she lie to him ever again? Because I think she lies when she tells him he can dance because he can't.
I don't understand like why she's like going back to him or
Me neither.
he's coming to her. Like it just like there's something that's just like pulling these two characters together. I mean, it's the screenplay.
Yeah.
But the oh my gosh. Well, firstly, in the club because like
Yeah.
she like kicks him in the nuts or whatever,
Yeah.
and that starts this chain reaction where there's just like this fight breaks out, and she just sort of steps back and she sort of like smiles, like she's just like very proud of herself
Yeah.
for creating this chaos, which is just
Yeah.
like that tells me everything I need to know about her. But we never see that again. We never see like because the way that she's presented later on, it's more just like chaos follows her and it's like
Yes.
caused by her, but she always seems to be like really like bereft by it, or
Mm,
hard done by. But this is like the only time in the movie where she creates chaos and she's just like, yeah, I
my
did
work
that.
is
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, yeah. um so I wish we could have seen more of that. I don't know why that disappeared. But the other thing about like this whole story, like, because like this is one of the movies within the movie,
Hmm.
and it's like, how are these characters like they're just people are going to places where they would never be able to get into, like for whatever reason, when she goes back to her later on, her mirror, her makeup chair,
Oh yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
goddess, there's like this flyer left behind by James. It's
Yeah.
like, did he just like sneak in there and put this thing there? What at the cheetah? He's like walking into this like restricted back area where they're giving lap dances, and he just like stands there and watches the whole thing until the guy's just like, "Hey, you
Right.
gonna pay for that or whatever?"
Right.
And she's like, I guess he like finds where she lives based on like I don't know what. finds out where she works. Like that, like I don't know how he was able, unless maybe she said that she worked at the Cheetah. I don't remember. But there's just like all this shit's happening.
They're
She's
inexorably drawn to each other, yes.
yeah, she like when she goes to his garage or whatever, it's not
Yeah,
a loft or
yeah,
whatever it is, and she leaves like they're fine, but then something happens and she's just like flips the switch and she's just like the you don't know shit attitude
yeah, yeah,
and just like taxi coming out of nowhere sort of thing. But then and it seems like, well, she's done with him, and that was
yeah.
this he must have gotten that sense too because he went and he hooked up with Penny Hope. But
Hmm.
like literally 2 scenes later, she comes back to tell him the news that like she
Yeah.
got into the show or whatever, and it's just like, why do you feel inclined to go there? And
Hmm.
like it's just this is not a thing. This is someone that you've most of your interactions with at this point have been you being annoyed by him, you assaulting him, you getting him fired, and now she's kind of like I guess she's into him now. And that lasts for 2 seconds because then it's just like, oh well, you're not even being faithful to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
were we having a relationship here? I didn't even realize it. But there's enough of a bond that like weeks later, it's like, oh, I'm gonna check out his show because
Right.
like this is a good friend of mine, and I gotta
Yeah.
go watch what he does. Goes up there, and
Artists supporting
yeah,
each other.
sure,
Yeah. No, there was an observation made by it was a commentary that was recorded 20 years ago on that VIP edition by I believe his name was David Schmader, and he basically like wrote like thesis papers on Showgirls and would host screenings of the movie and discussions like about like his observations about it. And one thing that he discussed that I remember, and because it occurred to me while I was watching the movie, this particular screening, I hadn't seen it in quite a few years.
Mhm.
I remember it's all still there though. He um, he said that Nomi apparently it's this unspoken thing about this like hypnotic euphoria she seems to kind of like this stupor that she seems to induce in other people that makes no matter what she does, no matter what she says, no matter how she behaves, no matter how ill she treats them, makes them want to pursue her, makes them want to protect her, makes them want to love her the way they kind of understand love. So because James is a dancer, he wants to choreograph something for her. Because Molly is a caretaker, she wants to create a home for her,
Yeah.
because
He
and,
he
yeah.
wants to he wants to foster this natural talent. You've
Yes,
got more
exactly.
natural talent than you know what to do with.
Yes, exactly. More natural. The line that he said, I wrote it down because that made me laugh out
Yeah.
loud again. You got more natural talent when you dance than anyone I ever seen. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then he says, everybody got AIDS and shit. Anyway, but even like with Zach's character, like the way he loves is to like build things. Like he wants to like the way we see him like in his exchanges. I don't even know if it's a relationship. Obviously, there's jealousy and there's an agenda that two battling, conflicting agendas between Crystal and Zach. But and so I just wonder if he just got sick of her and that's why he started. But I also wonder if that spell, the aforementioned spell, the glamour that Nomi kind of put him under made him want to make her a star because that's how he loves people. And if Crystal wanted to just at least see her as an equal, and Crystal doesn't see anyone as an equal,
Yeah.
so so all of
It,
that is what Nomi
yeah.
influences in
It
people.
definitely
Yeah.
seemed like a power play type of situation with those two.
Oh yeah.
Where there's that like you said, it's the cruel intentions,
Mm-hmm.
Catherine and Sebastian of it all. It's just like
Yeah.
we're just gonna I guess that means Nomi is Annette,
Oh
the
my
Reese
God.
Witherspoon. There's this poor virtuous girl that they're
She
just
is the one who
messing with.
walks away at the end.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah,
she is.
yeah.
But
Well, it should have been Nomi riding off in Zack's sports car
That would have been great. You know
with
what?
her
That would have been
switchblade. Yeah.
that would have been great. I would have preferred that actually, but I know they want to
Yeah.
bookend it with everything. And also, what did happen to her suitcase? Here he's saying,
Who
"I'll
is
get you
this
your
dude?
suitcase."
Yeah.
He's saying, "I'll get you your suitcase," but they're driving in the wrong direction unless he left Vegas, came back for Christmas, and then decided to go back to Los Angeles again, and it's
Yeah.
waiting for them in Hollywood. I don't know, but as far as the dynamic with James, another thing is just like I think the irrational male mind rationalization of what he does because the way that actor plays it, I can't remember his name right now, but I remember I
Well,
loved him in
he's
South
in
Central.
Saw too,
He's in
right?
Saw 2, yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't like that movie, but he's in
Isn't it Glenn
he's
Plummer?
is it Glenn Plummer? Is that
I
his
think
name?
so, yeah.
Okay. And
He was also in Speed 1 and 2. He was the guy who's driving in front of the bus and Keanu gets in the
oh,
I'm pretty sure that's the same actor.
haven't seen that even longer than I've seen this. But oh, you're
Well,
making me
I
think
guess
about something.
he was in a lot back
He worked a
then.
lot in the 90s. No, my favorite
Yeah.
performance I ever saw him in was a movie called South Central where he played an incarcerated father and it was a damn fucking good movie and he I was so impressed and then I saw him in Showgirls I was like, "Dude, what happened?"
Yeah.
But it's not like he's bad in it, but it's not it's probably he might be. I don't know if I feel comfortable finishing the sentence, but I'm going to do it anyway. He might be the worst written character in the whole movie. What do you think?
I think so. Not even the worst written character, but just like in terms of his arc, I'd say it's
Yeah.
like the worst written arc.
He,
I'm
li-
seeing
he
that he's listed as Jaguar owner, Jaguar.
uh
How do we say that word?
Jaguar,
Jaguar
Jaguar.
owner in Speed. He's the seventh build. Excuse me. I don't know if they gave him a name in the sequel, but I do remember he
Okay.
came back because it was sort of like oh, Maurice. They decided to give him a name in the sequel. But yeah, that guy who was just a huge staple of the 90s.
Yeah.
I the Yeah, it's not even him. It's just the arc, the character arc, because it just really goes nowhere. I did want to ask you though,
Oh God.
who do you think is the most? I guess like the best way is like the least of all of the evil of like the male characters in this movie. Like who's the most stable, virtuous male character in this movie? Because I think that it's probably Al.
He was the first one to come to mind, but it's weird to use adjectives like you
Yeah,
just
I
said for
know,
a
I
man who
know.
says, "You want to last more than a week in a place like this, you better give me a blowjob." And then his sentimental, but I mean, even his send off is
Yeah.
like NC-17 rated. Like the fact that he says, "Must be weird not having anybody come on you." It's like, what?
Well,
Um,
it was almost like he was this paternal figure in her life, and it's just like
ugh.
it's weird that they like showed, and again, like people just like having access to these restricted places that like they should not be able to get to. They're just hanging out on the goddess stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's almost like this sweet sentimental like send off like, well, we missed you, kid, and we wanted to
Yeah.
say goodbye. But like that character has an arc, it's just like, it comes full circle, and it's almost like there's this like it's like you made it big, kid,
Yeah,
like
right. But he doesn't.
and I see you, and I'm and
Yeah, he's
yeah.
too proud to say any of that. So instead of telling her, I love the exchange when he's just like, "You look like shit." And she's like, "She looks better than a 10-inch dick, and you know it." But but you know what? Honestly, no. If I really give it thought, the most ethical men, there are more than one in this movie, are all the gay men, the gay chorus boys. And because they don't do anything wrong, they just little catty comment here and there.
Well,
One
they
of
don't
them,
count. They're just they're
no, but
background.
no,
Yeah.
because one of them, the one who was holding,
Marty.
yeah, Marty, who was holding Annie was her name. Annie, while
No,
he
Marty is
tripped over
the
the,
Marty is
oh,
the redhead.
Okay, well, I didn't
the
get to him
yeah,
yet. The dancers. So
yeah.
while the dancer is holding Annie, whatever his name is, he like trips over the beads and everything like that. And I never noticed this in SD when I saw this movie, but
Mhm.
streaming it off HBO Max today, I noticed he was like near tears, like kneeling beside her after the show had let out and they waited forever to come out on stage and actually tend to her. He's sitting there being cradled by, I guess, the other gay guy who I guess is his boyfriend because they're dancing, or at least his love interest because they are dancing together at the Andrew Carver party, but later. But anyway, he's sitting there like near tears, and he's just kind of like, I just, I just, she just went, you know, what does he say? Something like, my leg just went out under me, or something
Well,
like that.
from what I remember, because I was watching it, because he almost had this like almost like not my fault
Oh, I
response.
didn't
So
see
I'm
that. He looks
maybe
like he was hurting.
well, I don't know, but it was they're like, what? How did this happen? It's just like
Right.
my foot came out from under me. It was
Oh,
almost like not my problem, you know,
no,
like.
I didn't get that. It looked like he was hurting, but
I'm gonna
to me,
find
to
this
me.
this moment now because I
Okay.
now I need to understand
Okay.
that. But yeah,
Well,
I
while you're
don't.
doing that, there's also yeah, the choreographer who you were mentioning, or at least the drill sergeant, who's
Yeah,
like thrust it, thrust
he like
it.
slaps her ass.
But I mean, is it unethical? Like, I mean,
Well, he's like a cog in the machine that is
yeah, he
like,
is.
he's basically the underling to the shit, what's the guy's name? I want to see you dancing, I want to see you smile, that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Is it Tony Moss? But that guy's great because he's an asshole and he's proud of it. He's just like, this is it's like you fixed your nose. It's like you gotta fix your ears are too big. Come back when you get
Yeah.
them fixed or
Oh my
whatever.
God. And then the girl who went to all the classes, just like, yeah, it's called goddess. It's not called class. It ain't called classes. Uh, yeah, no, there aren't a lot of ethical men, but I think the gay guys are the most ethical of the
Yeah.
bunch there. Because even if what's his name, the chorus boy is sitting there and he's really just going like, wasn't my fault. Well, it's not. Shit happens, and you fall. Like as Nomi says throughout the movie, shit happens. She gets all of her wisdom off of t-shirts. But you're making me think about just
Yeah.
other quotable lines. Yeah,
So
well,
I watched the moment. He's like my foot went out from under me, but he kind of does this thing with his hand where he's just like,
but look at his
yeah.
face.
But I think what I'm seeing there because it's almost like this is a team, and it's just his yeah maybe he's a little upset about it, but it's just like my foot went out from under me. It's like it wasn't like well my foot went out from under like
No,
it's
no,
not like an
okay,
ownership
okay.
of
Oh
like
my
this is my
God.
fault.
Because it's not his
It's not
fault.
it's
They're
not his
asking what
yeah,
happened and he's telling them.
but he's doing it in a way that's like it's just like.
Oh, I
Yeah,
disagree.
there was
We should put a
there was monkey shit on the floor. What do you
let's do it. Let's do a cherry picker where people get to chime in and say,
I
was he
don't
empathetic
care
or was he
about
not?
you're like the dancing gays. I'm talking about real characters in the movie, and
You said men in the movie. I answered your question. Let's move on.
well, you were talking about
Yes,
the choreographer. The
yeah,
Gay is her name.
I love her.
She is hilarious, and I love that
Yeah.
it's just like the first time we meet her. I think because it's during the audition.
Mhm.
If no, actually, she was probably there earlier when they were like when Molly brought Nomi there, but like when we see her in the audition, she's just like, oh, they go for like 2 seconds, stop. And
Yeah.
it's just like so frenetic. But then when Nomi like finally gets in the show and she's like, hey, let's start, and she's like, no, 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 I want you to come and watch this, and they're just like
Yeah.
performing for her, and they're like, no, go in there and do exactly what I just did, and it's
Yeah.
like. Okay, what do you want? A burger and some fries? No, get her some
Brown
chicken.
rice and vegetables and an
No, yeah,
Evian water.
not even any chicken. No protein, just the brown rice and vegetables.
Yeah, because that's enough. You just have to
Yeah,
carbo load. But she,
yeah.
no, she, I also love the fact that they're telling her, keep in sync with the other girls. Yet she's standing in front of the girls doing this for the first time. How the fuck is she supposed to keep in
And
sync?
then and then Marty is just like stops. He's like, "No, me, what was that?" It's like like, you literally just started. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like she just showed
yeah.
up. But I
Yeah, I said
guess
PK turn now, PK. And then she PK's like, right, now, back
higher, high,
in.
not that high.
Yeah, right.
um,
And I'm like, guys, if this
the
were just like an actual rehearsal, you could give her just a little time. But they're acting like they go like the house is opening in 15 minutes and she's got to learn the whole
well,
routine
because she
before then.
does.
But
She
it's not
does.
gonna
It's
opening in
just
15 minutes. She's got like a couple
couple
hours. But
hours, but time has no meaning in this universe.
no, it
But
really doesn't.
it's I it would have been funny. I mean, because this is another burlesque
Oh
illusion, but
God.
just the like I obviously she's hired because Crystal's just like wants to fuck with it. Crystal needs a plaything to fuck with,
Mhm.
but it would have been funny if they just like picked her because she's been watching the show from the wings or from she's like right out in the audience and she's standing in front of like everyone right at the head of the stage, but
Wagon wheel
she's
Watusi.
watching it. But yeah, if there was a whole thing where she came out and she's like, I know every number, I can do any number, just ask me what you want. And
I like this better.
Gina
Yeah.
Gershon is just up there just
Do the volcano.
S&M motorcycle, you
Yeah,
know,
do the
like,
vaginal volcano. Do S&M slap and tickle. I don't know, but anyway,
yeah.
I can't do any more alliteration.
Yeah.
But I do one thing I want to mention because I love Gay as well as you do. The choreographer Gay. She was
Gay.
in. It wasn't a horror movie, but it was in the movie version of A Chorus Line. She played BB Benson in that. She's the one in that movie who like everybody's doing the choreography, and the dance captain is just kind of like, you come up here, and he's like, okay, I want everybody to watch what she's doing. That's what you need to do. And then she gets her own little kind of solo in the audition, and she fucking nails it. You're just like, damn, that's a badass dancer. And yeah, she's so when I saw her in this, I was just kind of like, it's BB. And I think she's done like a handful of other dance movies that went up in the 80s. I don't remember the
Yeah.
exact credits, but she was one of those.
I
That's a real dancer, and you can tell when you see her in this movie.
I also love Nomi's silent co-conspirator. I don't know what her name is, but just the one who's the one who throws the diamonds
Bo
on the fl-
Derek, the one with the braids. I don't remember her
yeah,
name either.
but like I guess they have this camaraderie because Nomi saw what she did
Yes.
and didn't say anything, so then she returned the favor later on and just been like she wasn't anywhere near her.
Well, she said, "I'll,"
Um,
and then
yeah.
she's like, "Hey, think maybe I can be your understudy now?" It's like, "I'll
Yeah.
see what I
Yeah,
can do."
she had an angle, but they were in competition for the understudy because it was them and then
Yeah.
the redhead, and the
Hmm.
redhead just decided like she hates Nomi. But
Yeah.
when what's her face got up, she's like, I thought she did amazing. So she was
Yeah.
already
Oh, I thought she
working.
did good. I
Well,
thought she did a good job.
see, here
Yeah.
I am, trying to instill my own headcanon that they were like, it's like, and you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And you're
Oh,
just
there
like,
totally
no,
was.
she's got an angle. She's trying to become the understudy.
Well, no, because then the last thing that she does, that last exchange, she's like, so maybe I'm not, I didn't write the damn thing. Which is like, so maybe you think, because also that's another thing. I think that moment is supposed to be loaded with like, so Nomi, think maybe I could be your understudy now? She's like, see what
With
I can
with
do.
with
Because it's
what,
like,
lesbianic
because,
subtext?
because, no, I actually thought it was the opposite. I mean, actually, if it's all about Eve, it can be both. But
Yeah.
I think there's also just kind of a like, because, if you don't, you know what I'm willing to do to take you out of this show. And again, I feel like it's kind of like in the Crystal Connors thing. It's like two people recognizing we're of like minds. So game recognize game. Maybe you do me another little extra favor and then I'll owe you something a little bit later. Maybe that's going to manifest in some lesbianic activity. Maybe it's going to manifest in just like a tit for tat, like you're in a tight spot, you need someone to say
I
you were somewhere
mean,
when you weren't. That's what I think. It's the whole thing is
she is a
Vegas, the
family
seedy world of Vegas.
she is a family woman. She's got her
Jesus
kids.
Christ. She's
They're
the most moral character of the whole
the most
movie.
moralistic.
I'm trying to find a
Um,
photo of her on IMDb so I can find the
I
name of the character, and I can't find her.
there's one called is it Julie? Yeah, that's not listed, but that might be her. Or is it Nadia? I don't remember. It's not
Nadia
important.
doesn't
It's
sound
not
right.
important. Yeah, Bo Derek. The okay, so the All About Eve aspect of this. So
Uh,
if let's just okay, so if we're going by the All About Eve template, would that mean
yeah.
that Gina Gershon or Crystal Connors is Margot?
Hmm.
Nomi Malone is
Eve.
Eve Harrington.
Yeah.
And but then like would that make Hope, even though it's like a completely different venue, is she like the girl who shows up at the end of All About
Phoebe.
Eve? Yeah.
No, I don't think she's a Phoebe. I think Bo Derek is Phoebe because she's the one who wants what Nomi has. There's nothing about Penny. Penny seems quite happy to just be Penny.
Okay, can we talk about the sequel? Because you
Yeah, we
you seem to
can.
know a lot about it, and I want to know.
I mean, have you seen it?
Um, no.
Okay, you had to
Yeah.
think about
No, I
it.
haven't. I've seen a trailer for it. Yeah.
Okay, no, I saw it. I actually saw its premiere out here in Los Angeles when we used to have the venue known as the Silent Movie Theater. It might still be there, but as far as I know, it's inoperable. I haven't been on that street in a long time, I wonder, on that section of Fairfax. But anyway, she had the premiere there, and it was the kind of thing you could just buy tickets to because it was, very indie. You can tell when you're watching it. It's basically shot on video, you know. It's not like a trademark, this is canon Showgirls 2 kind of thing. It's more just like a project that I think I can't remember the actress's name, but the one who plays Penny Hope wanted for herself. And it's
Which
a cute title. It's called Showgirls 2 Pennies apostrophe S from
yeah.
Heaven, and that's
Yeah.
really cute.
Penny is from heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you watch it. So we started watching it. We were ready for it to be, like kind of bad and kind of tacky and whatever. Zach, it was sad because it wasn't very good. The best thing I can say about the movie is that at least it ends well because she's no longer with James. They've veered off into separate directions. I don't
He's in the
remember
movie.
he's in the movie. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly what happens, but she gets caught up in a cult or something, and she's dumb the whole time, and there's a lot of, jokes about her dumbness, and I just wish it could have been written a little bit better. I
Yeah.
just remember the exchange got a big laugh from me at the end where he's leaving her. She's kind of like settled, she's fine,
Did
she's
she have a
safe.
kid?
I don't believe
Because
so.
that was the whole
I
thing. It's just like she's pregnant.
Yeah, no, I don't remember a
Yeah.
kid in it. See, that's the thing. I don't even remember. I don't remember how they explained
Yeah.
it away. I just remember at the end of the movie, they're no longer together and they're just, they're always going to be those people to each other. And he just says, "Hey, you know what? A lot of people think you're dumb, but you're not. You just play dumb." And she says, "Like a possum?" And there's that long pause. And he says, "No, no, possums don't play dumb. They play dead." You know what? And he just leaves. That was the biggest
It's
laugh of the evening, and it got nothing from you. So that tells you
well,
roughly what to expect if you try to watch the
it's
movie.
almost like the Gone with the Wind ending.
Frankly, my dear, I don't
Yeah,
give a
yeah. Well,
damn.
there's three actors who carry on from this. So Penny Slot slash Helga is what her name is in this, but Rena
That's her
Rifle, yeah.
name, yes.
Glenn Plummer playing James Jimmy Smith, and then Greg
Hmm.
Travis is in this, who played Phil. He was
Oh, I
like
forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, he was the guy that was like getting Nomi and the other girl to do the boat
Oh, we'll sing a
show.
lot
Yeah,
of songs.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
But yeah, this sequel, unofficial, is
Yeah.
released in 2011. It's 2 hours and 25 minutes.
It feels like it when you're watching
God.
it. But I think they were just trying to surpass
Yeah.
Showgirls, which Showgirls is shockingly over 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I don't feel it the way I think I talked after the pod last week about the alleged campiness of Batman and Robin that I do not get on board with, and how it's over 2 hours long and it does not need to be. Showgirls is 2 hours long. I'm fine with it. I mean, take out the essay,
I did
but I'm
not
like,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah, I did not feel the time at all. I mean, I think it's perfect amount of time.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the Batman and Robin. Because I went and looked up all the runtimes for the Batman movies after you said that. I'm like,
Right, right,
wait,
right.
there's longer movies
Yeah,
than
but they're
Batman and
better.
Robin's. Yeah, fair
If
enough.
you're watching a good movie, time is just gonna fly by. And even if you're watching
Mhm.
like a not
Well,
so great movie that kind of got everything wrong the right way,
yeah.
then time's gonna
I
fly
think
by.
that, and that's the thing. So with like move like pacing and stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, first just to put a bookend on this Penny is from Heaven sequel because at 2 hours and 25 minutes, this seems like it's a continuation of this movie within Showgirls, this one
Yeah.
storyline that doesn't really go anywhere, which, arguably is the worst part of the movie. So it's
Yeah.
like, great, there's an unofficial sequel that is just a continuation of this worst part of the movie. But for movies that are like just pacing and just like for very long movies, I think that as long as there's the cause and effect, and I've talked about this before, and it's like one thing leads to another, or there's new sort of discoveries that happen within the movie. I mean, because we do have the discovery of Polly,
Hmm.
Nomi's identity, and all that stuff. I still like, even though that's not really anything shocking, like we talked about, everything kind of there's consequences. Every action in this movie has a consequence, and even though it's not really well structured in a story sense, it's
Hmm.
still it has that feeling of like it's not quite vignettes, but it's just all of these situations that have been kind of pieced together like a patchwork quilt, and it somehow is innately watchable
Hmm.
that you don't notice how long it is because it's and there's always something interesting happening too.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
Uh,
whether it's an interesting set piece in the world of Showgirls, or just an interesting exchange of dialogue. Because it's just like the drama, it feels like it continuously heightens, and it's things that are not even really that like scandalous. It's like, okay, it's things that you see in everyday life, and maybe that's what it is. It's relatable. Like she's trying to get this promotion, to be the understudy, and she gets it, but then it's taken away because of jealousy in the workplace. And I feel like everybody, at least like if they haven't had that happen to them, they know or they recognize it. And that's actually another moment in the movie that I think is one of my favorite Gina Gershon moments, where after Nomi gets the letter saying that it's been rejected, and she goes to Zack's office, and then she comes back to
yes.
the change area, and Crystal is sitting on Nomi's station. Like she's not sitting
Yeah.
at the chair, she's sitting on
No.
it as
No.
everyone is gathered around, and she's like
Hmm.
regaling them with like,
The story
stories
of when her
about whatever. Yeah.
G string went wrong. Yeah, stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's just like I've taken the knife and like stuck it in you, but now I've twisted it by
Hmm.
just like I'm claiming your territory, and I love little nuances like that in movies like this, because it's like that could have been, she could have come back and there could have just been a like, you bitch, or whatever, like just a like
Oh,
a
sure.
leer or something, but for her to
Hmm.
actually be sitting there while she's like grandstanding for everyone, and
Hmm.
then like looking at her and being like, you know what, I think I will get those nails
Hmm.
when you get a chance.
Also, prior to that, like I just loved the moment where Nomi, because I know what's coming,
Yeah.
when Nomi walks up to her station ahead of all that and discovers the letter and opens it and starts reading it. And right before she's about to like dart out of the room and take Zack to task on it and everything like that, the door opens and out steps Crystal with just like a big smile on her face. Like she's been hiding behind that door, listening for the rustling of the paper, counting how many lines before she reads the sentence that rejects her. give it 2 beats, and then I step out. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
this is choreographed within an inch of its life just for maximum destructive potential. And
Hmm.
yeah, I love that in a villain. I
Yeah.
love the strategizing of it all, because that's the thing. That's another thing I loved about watching Gina Gershon playing this role is I didn't realize how many shots of her are her just watching Nomi ravenously. Like, she's just got this, she can't hold still. She's kind of gyrating. She's kind of, when she's watching the lap dance, she's kind of doing the moves with Nomi. It's almost like they're starting to merge into a hive mind, or like there's some kind of like subliminal level, that some kind of reverberating sexual tones that they're the only ones or their ilk can respond to. So they both, but there's so many moments where she'll just be like across a room or in the house of the theater or whatever, watching Nomi do stuff, and she may as well be like licking her lips, just going,
Yeah.
yeah, gonna have you for
Very,
dinner, little girl,
very lascivious,
very
as you would say.
more than any man in this movie, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna have a character just sort of like dominate sexually, it's in a movie like this, it has to be a woman, and
Hmm.
it has to be Gina Gershon.
Yeah,
Absolutely, and I think that that's the difference between like she's it feels like it's it's almost very Mean Girls as well, or Jawbreaker,
sure.
if you will. It's just sort of like the Mean Girl energy, but there's something about Gina Gershon. It just feels like someone who's more experienced and mature, but wielding that power in a very vindictive and spiteful way. Whereas then you have
Hmm.
someone like Nomi, who's just like, inexperienced, in a sense of I guess what this world is, and coming in and like, being very naive, and even like at the end when she's sort of, taking back the power against uh not Jason Momoa. And that, like, it doesn't feel like she's even fully in control there. Like, it feels like she's struggling. Like, it's just like, I'm trying so hard to sit at the grown-ups table,
Uh-huh.
while she's just kicking the shit out of this guy, and she does it, but it still feels like she doesn't have, and this is not a slight against Elizabeth Berkley, because she's playing the character exactly as it needs to be played and how
Yeah.
she was told to play it. But it's just like that that behavior that we see in Crystal, or just Gina Gershon, like she owns that. Nobody else can be Crystal Connors. They say that in the movie, and it's true. Like nobody. What is the line about like the the energy or something when they're auditioning the understudy?
Oh, because they don't that like, yeah, it's something like yeah, they've all got the moves, but they don't have Crystal's heat or something like that. So
Yeah.
isn't that
Oh, and
it?
then Zach's
Yeah.
like, Nomi has heat. And then
Right.
they're like, well, whatever. And then Marty, the I guess one of the choreographers, because he's just like, no, she does. But then and Gina Gershon is like standing in front of him, and
Yeah.
she just sort of like leers backwards, and he's like,
Mhm.
but like not like yours, not like, you know what I
So
mean?
completely different
Yeah.
energies, completely different heats. But
I just wanted to read some comments here because there's some
okay.
interesting trivia. So first of all, Amethyst is telling us that the character is named Julie. Not that it
Okay.
matters.
None of it
LOL.
matters.
Grant is mentioning that there's also been a Showgirls musical show. Were you aware
I
of
never,
this?
I was not. Is it, I wonder if it's a parody, or is it like a full on, like, let's do a Showgirls, with a heart on
Yeah.
and the
Well, it's a
lights kind of thing.
musical. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. Yeah, I haven't heard. Basically, every movie's been made into something, whether it's,
yeah.
making fun of it or whether it's taking it seriously. Yeah.
C. Edward, aka Craig. So is Crystal gay? I would love to hear what other people would say.
I think Crystal's pan, kind of whatever, anything goes. Like, whatever makes sense to her sexually is what she pursues. That's what I get from her. Because she's obviously got a, a relationship that crosses sexual boundaries, not,
Mhm.
boundaries that are set, but, social boundaries, with Zack. Like don't they talk about having sex at one point? Like at
Yeah,
one
I mean,
point,
well, it's almost
yeah.
like, yeah, the competition of like, are you angry that like I got there first? Or are you
Yeah, are
jealous?
you
Or you know,
jealous or are you angry that I got there first? Yeah, like are you jealous of me or
yeah,
are you jealous of her? You're like, yeah, one of those things.
yeah.
But
Do you okay? So obviously, this is a franchise that is just like beloved by
yeah,
the gay community, like gay men. What
yeah.
do you know in terms of like what a lesbian audience feels about this? Because I know that like especially with the trailer,
Right.
they have the moment which is at the end of the movie where she goes in and kisses her, and she's laying in the hospital bed, but
Hmm.
it's framed in a way that it doesn't look like that, and it cuts
Hmm.
away before they even like make contact. So it's like this was really pushed as like a sort of like a lesbian relationship between them, which just like does is I mean sorely going to be disappointed if that's what you were expecting from the movie. But I'm just curious if you know how this movie is perceived by a lesbian audience.
Through my own exposure, I know a handful of gay women who can have fun with it and who can quote it, but I don't know one. I've yet to meet a woman who identifies as gay, lesbian, or uh, fluid, and a woman in any situation who's going to be attracted to another woman who watches this movie and goes, "Hey, representation, that's me. This is my story." And also because of the overt male gaziness of all of the interactions between the two of them, even the power play of it feels, inauthentic. And I don't need it to be authentic. I still think it's fabulous, and I watch it. I'll watch it over and over and over again. But I would never. Let me put it this way: I would never recommend it to a lesbian. Going like, "Oh, you got to see this." I'd probably more of a barometer would be like, have you seen it? How do you feel about it if you have? I don't. I think Bound is Gina
Yeah.
Gershon's much closer boon to that particular branch of the community, and
Yeah.
I mentioned to you before, like I think there's a spectrum. Showgirls on the lesbian cinema Loviosa spectrum is at one end, Bound is at the other.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned
That's-
that before we
yeah,
we started the podcast. Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's fair. This is a movie for the boys, as they would say.
And some
Showgirls.
girls. I know it's not to
Yeah.
every girl's taste, but yeah, there are girls who can have fun with it. But
Yeah.
no, I think it's going to be a predominantly male audience, whatever the sexuality is, if you have a screening of it.
Right.
Mm.
Grant Dempsey, apparently Verhoeven and the writer Joe Esteras
Mm.
originally planned their own sequel, tentatively titled Bimbos, Nomi Does Los Angeles.
Bimbos.
Bimbos, yeah.
At least Showgirls is a thing, like it's a job.
Yeah.
And it sounds aspirational. Bimbos,
Yeah.
that's sad.
I was talking about this movie with a friend, who I guess never heard of it or had never seen it or whatever. I'm just like, oh, because I surprisingly know a lot of gay people who just like have not grown up with like the proper cinematic education of like the
Yeah,
90s movie, like the Wild Things and the Showgirls and the Jawbreakers and Cruel Intentions and Drop Dead
sure.
Gorgeouses. So it's
Hmm.
like, I constantly have to be like, have you seen this? You need to see this. And I was just like, oh yeah, like Showgirls, and like, oh, the new one with Pamela Anderson. No. Although
No,
I hear that's good,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
but
That's
no,
like, isn't that just like the life of a showgirl or something?
the last
The
Showgirl.
Last Showgirl. Yeah, I want to see
Yeah.
that. But very
Uh,
different. I'm not expecting Showgirls going to see that movie. That's
no.
probably going to be like a legit good movie.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but before you read though, I do want to say I heard the best pitch for a Showgirls sequel ever from David Schmader on his commentary. He thought and I still think you could do this because of what time has not done to this person. The sequel to Showgirls should be a movie called Showboys, starring Mario Lopez. In a very similar Nomi, but I'm a boy kind of like thing, opening the door to a possibility of a trilogy where the third movie is where Nomi comes face to face with of the Showgirls comes face to
With
face
AC
with the Showboy,
Slater.
with AC
Yeah,
Slater of the
yeah,
Showboys. Yeah. And I'm like, you
yeah.
know what?
As
Take
long
my
as
money.
as long as there's a scene of just her singing, "I'm
I'm
so
so
excited,
excited. I'm
I'm
so
so
excited.
excited,
I'm
I'm
so
so
scared.
scared."
Also, there is an episode of Saved by the Bell where Zack and Kelly get married in Vegas, and you can tell that they planned the whole thing around Elizabeth Berkley doing Showgirls because she shows
Oh,
up
is this
as
the reboot?
Jessie.
The
This
reboot?
wasn't even the reboot. This was happening while she was shooting Showgirls. She shows up in her Nomi hair, pretending to be Jessie, like nothing changed. Hey guys, I'm so glad to be here for your wedding for one scene. Oh, but I gotta go. And then she leaves. It's so clearly her, like in between days shooting, like the one day off she had from Showgirls, she went on to not even the set, but on location
Yeah,
to do her Saved by the Bell cameo
that's
while Zack and
wild.
Kelly were getting married in maybe a very special episode. I don't remember if it was an hour long or
Wasn't
whatever.
she what wait, what was her character's name?
Jesse Spano.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember anything else, but I remember that. And I loved her on Saved by the Bell too. She was great.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead and read
Well,
more.
I mean, well, yeah, and unfortunately, the movie killed her career.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw her
and
talking to Howard Stern about it too, back in the day. He was saying like all the shit that she had to take for this movie, and she says, especially considering like I was the face of it, but I didn't write it, I didn't direct it, I didn't edit it, I didn't,
mhm.
like I just kind of became the mascot to dump on, for this movie.
Yeah, like it just was her fault, and there was like Gina Gershon, like not, didn't get any of that, and I was watching
No.
an interview where she was talking about it, and she just recognized the fact that like she sort of like came out of that unscathed, and if anything, like people, and I think that this plays to like her character and just like that commanding presence of just like you don't fuck with Crystal Connors, but
Hmm.
it's just still like this idea that like she was directed to just like look really good and came off like a pro, whereas Elizabeth Berkley just looked like she was just a bad performance and all that. But it's
I
like
know.
it's a wonderful performance because it's just like you could it's the movie is so stylized and it's so specific for that. Like this is clearly an unhinged person. Like this Nomi
Hmm.
Malone is not a a a
Well.
a healthy-minded individual. And if the movie was about that, like an exploration of that, then
Mm.
it probably would have been, like the role of a lifetime, and it probably
Right.
would have
The
received a
the
lot of
turning the
accolades.
turning point for her career, ascending
Yeah,
from being like a not a child star, but a minor
yeah,
minor star into like a MAGOR star, adult
yeah.
star. But no, it was also I remember the talk around it at the time. This is another reason why I think Paul Verhoeven didn't exactly want to make a comedy. Is I remember the way it was being promoted. It was being spoken in the same sentence with Flashdance a lot of the time. I think their aspirations was for this to be kind of like Flashdance that goes even harder. Because Flashdance was a huge hit in the 80s. It was like a
Hmm.
cultural touchstone. And I think that's what they wanted. And even when you see interviews with Elizabeth Berkley promoting the film at the time, you can see the earnestness with which she treats her performance because she's talking about Nomi, the character she plays. She said, I remember seeing sentences in the promotional material with her saying things like, Nomi Malone feels the same way about feels as deeply about being a dancer as I do about when I dance. And I'm like, that is not this movie. This is not about like an aspirational kind of situation where someone, just has all the grit and the determination and the talent and just needs to ascend. It is,
Yeah.
but it isn't. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. And the other thing that Gina Gershon said in this one interview is
Yeah.
She would recall how people would come up to her in private or just like whisper to her and
Uh,
like, the movie's really good, huh? And she'd be like, I know it is. Like what, like be vocal about it. Like, go out and tell people because there was just the general sense that it's a bad movie and
yeah.
everyone had to hate on it.
There was shame
Yeah.
associated with it for a long time. It
Yeah.
was more it was more shameful to admit that you liked the movie than to just completely trash it and dismiss it,
What is a
unfortunately.
modern day example of that, do you think?
Oh, Jesus. I mean, what's everybody dumping on these days? I don't even know. What's the
Halloween
last movie?
Ends.
No, but people have already come out like staunchly defending that movie. That is,
I haven't seen it. Like
oh, I
there's
have.
few and far
No, in my
between, but
stories, I've seen
yeah.
so many people when they're ranking the Halloween movies, Halloween Ends is near the top for so many people that I
Yeah.
follow.
I
So
think it's
I'm, yeah.
I mean, I think it's at the top of the new trilogy, but that's a very low bar for me. And I don't
I'd
know what
rather
else I
watch
could.
that than any of the other, yeah, new trilogy. I would rather
Yeah.
watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't mean
I
anything.
can't think of anything like Halloween Ends is probably the one that comes to mind.
I also try not to focus on what people shit on these days. I'm trying to. Also, I'm so out of the loop. Like, I'm not watching all the movies that I would like to. I just don't have the time. I have to catch up. I'm so glad that we're,
Mm.
going to watch something that I want to see next.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just leave it at that for
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Well, maybe that's a good opportunity for us to mosey on along to the cherry picker.
It's not like we kill people on purpose.
Alrighty, we need a cherry on top, and this is
Oh,
really
wow.
which
I
can we
know,
just
right?
do both? Can we can we pick
We've
both?
we've done multiple people before, have we not?
Yeah. I feel like in a scenario like this where it's just a deadlock, we'll do two. There's no rules. There's no rule. I mean, we gave the cherry on top to Buddy the dog in Single White Female because all those
But
characters were so insufferable.
I feel like at one
Yeah.
point, and maybe Amethyst remembers, but I feel like at one point we did give it to like a group of people, like three or four people, and it was fine. So yeah, let's do no Nomi and Crystal.
Yeah. It's not even Nomi and Crystal. It's just like it's the energy between them.
Yeah,
It's
just
yeah.
something. You always feel like
The natural talent that oozes between them.
that real because it's
Yeah.
graduated to realdom now.
Mhm.
The moment with the doggy chow, watching that exchange between the two of them is just as magical now as it was when I saw it for the first time and I had no idea why are they talking about how
I
delicious
don't
doggy chow
think,
is.
look, I don't think that Crystal has ever had doggy chow. I think that that was her fucking with her just to see if I can get her to admit that
Oh,
she's
see,
had
I
doggy
thought I
chow.
totally thought she was telling the truth.
No, I think that they're both lying. I think that Crystal. No. This is the thing because this is their personalities. Crystal is the one that's just like I'm gonna see like what I can get her to admit to. Um, and Nomi is probably like it's just like I want to be in like I'm gonna be one of the popular kids too. Yeah, I've had doggy chow.
No, the only reason I disagree with that assessment doesn't mean I'm right, but the reason why I disagree is because if that were the case, it would have been set up to pay off later. It would have been instead of like, see, darling, you are a horse. You would have been like, see, darling, doggy chow's right for a bitch like you. Like they would have found some way to like bring it up and just kind of like, because I feel like Crystal doesn't miss a beat to just kind of face plant Nomi and humiliate
What
her.
she should have been doing is in the moment that you talked about where she was waiting at the door while
Yeah,
she opened the letter, she should have opened it and just had like a little bag of doggy chow and just been
it's
like
like
eating it
hungry.
as well, no, not
Just
even that.
dangle it.
Just snacking on it as she's just like basking in Nomi's misery.
Oh, and Amethyst did come through and say, for Seed of Chucky, we gave it to the entire family. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right. So last week we asked you who deserves to die the most in I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. I nominated Stevia Ward. You nominated Ray Bronson across
Yeah.
Patreon, Instagram, YouTube. The final tally was 246 for Stevia versus 407 for Ray.
I completely zoned out. What did you say?
You,
Who won?
you did,
Oh,
Ray.
cool. Thank you, guys. I just started thinking about something else and I lost the thread. Thank
Stevia, yeah,
you. Okay.
Killer Light. Um, Flash Gordon. It's a shame Ray. Spoilers.
It's
For
spoilers, guys. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry about it.
It's a shame Ray died. If they'd let him live, he could have gone on to be the big bad of this franchise like Jason or Michael.
Oh, I don't need that. The least interesting slasher of them all.
Fear queer horror guru. Duh, Stevie. Thomas Baker. Ray. Definitely Ray.
This is
10
cute.
B. Spencer. I'll vote Ray because he should have killed Julie. She's one of the most milquetoast main characters in any horror movie I've seen. Also, please say fuck you to me again, Zach. It makes my week each time it happens. Fuck
That's it.
you!
Now say it as Chucky.
Fuck you! Like that. Fuck. There's fuck you, Spencer.
That's cute. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Spence.
Okay, next.
Kind of a name is Spence.
Oh my god, I hope he's
Yeah.
dying with laughter right now. That'd be fun. Oh my god.
Lexi Spaczynski. That I always fuck up that. I just fuck up that name all the time. But love you. Spoilers, TLDR. The way Ray acts around women makes me uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when Ray was revealed as the killer because it made it seem like he was grooming Stevie into becoming one. Ray always bugged me because he was a tortured soul type who lashed out when he was upset. Real loose cannon could snap at any moment type. And that's why I never wanted him around Julie. It didn't feel safe. Even when you see them reunite in this one in her house, she seems a little scared of him, and now that they are broken up, he latches onto this young, broken girl who kind of looks like his ex-wife, question mark.
Oh.
My opinion, he helps her go down a dark path of revenge and murder, question mark. Ick. Just a man baby who never worked through his trauma and turned it into something productive.
I mean, you got it. The only thing I'll say is I never got tortured soul from Ray. That kind of suggests a little more depth than I think he's got going on there.
Yeah.
I'd say tortured facial expression for sure.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I enjoy the Ray Julie dynamic so much more here of them
Oh,
hating
yeah.
each other than
Yeah.
like for instance, and I know he's not in the final scene of the original or like the nightmare when she's like got the
Yeah.
towel on and she's just like, oh, like
Yeah.
babe, I'll be home in a week and then you can ravage me all you want. Like, oh, gross. But then when we see them at the end of I Still Know and he's like brushing his teeth, and he's like, don't you dare fall asleep, girl, because I'm gonna do stuff to you. While he's brushing, he's like, I love this thing.
Oh
Yeah.
God. You know what?
Girl, like, Miss Thing.
I'm not
It's
in.
just like Brenda in Scary Movie where she calls Alicia
Oh.
with Miss Thang. I just want to
Yeah,
see
right.
like Ray be like, you better not fall asleep, Miss Thang.
Oh my God.
Lucky for you, Miss Thang.
I just
I
wanna
brought my
see-
electric toothbrush.
No, I just want to see Jennifer Love Hewitt with, or not Jennifer Love Hewitt, but Julie with Ray, just going like, I'm gonna make this mine. I'm gonna pee on your face, and then I'm gonna fart in your mouth, and I'm gonna shit on these walls, Ray. And then you get the Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh, kind of like Scooby face, and it just goes, dirty. Oh my
different
God.
Brenda. I was talking about
Different Ray, yeah.
Alex is lame. I'm so sad that I disliked this movie as much as I did. When I saw the "You're Next" written on the window, all I thought was, a movie I'd much rather be watching right now. I tried to go in with no expectations, but I still managed to walk out disappointed. Once again, I
Aw.
was torn on who to pick for this poll. I
Mm.
decided to go with Ray because he just pissed me off. I might have had a different opinion on him if the movie actually executed what they were going for with his character.
Okay.
Blue Box. Ray still was the dullest character and gave the worst performance.
Oh!
Oh, that's not even making him the killer changed that one bit.
I kind of dug it, like for what
Yeah.
it was. Like it's not like earth shattering or anything, but I was just
Yeah.
like, hey, somebody's
Fun
bringing their
I
paycheck.
fun idea. The execution in the writing wasn't,
Mm.
it left a lot to be desired.
Don't get me started all over again. There's a whole pod.
Sean Prince, can't believe they made another one. It wasn't that good to begin with. Either bring Sarah Michelle Gellar back full time or stop wasting our time.
Alternate timeline. Alternate timeline.
Vicky screams. Stevia gets my vote for sure for being the biggest hypocrite. She was one of the first to jump on the let's just leave idea. So the
Mm.
audacity of taking out revenge on people who took longer to convince to do that and murdering innocent people who had F all to do with the death she's avenging. Her character and motive were so badly written. I found
Oh.
Ray's motive more believable. You saw glimpses of him being self-involved and angry, and I still know, not understanding why Julie didn't want to return to the town where her friends were murdered only 1 year prior and throwing a tantrum over it. I could buy that a man that angry and self-centered could become this bitter version over the decades, especially after a messy divorce. And that's a really good point,
It's interesting,
Vicky,
yeah.
to just point out that Stevie was like, she was right there. She's just like, we should go. And it's just, don't give me that crap that she didn't realize whose car it was.
Yeah,
You
well
know,
put,
it's like,
Vicky. Well put.
yeah, yeah. I'm just a lot of people who probably could have like by committee come together and saved this movie. Um, Sorry. Michael Diamond. I really enjoyed this movie. Completely agree with what Zack said about Ray. It works, but they didn't utilize it well enough to make it a good reveal. As much as I love JLH, Julie remains a disappointing final girl. I still
Mm.
enjoyed it more than I expected to and prefer it to Scream 22. Gotta vote for
Ooh.
Stevie because I would have preferred to see Ray continue as the fisherman Carla and Julie hunt down.
Mm. Okay.
Billy Moore. Sorry, but Ray lives. There's the title for your Ray as the franchise killer.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Ray lit on
So,
the gravestone. Ray, he's just reanimated by lightning.
so like somebody will come back, but played by another actor who's been plagued by all the events of this movie, and
Yeah.
they'll find Ray's grave and they'll plunge like a, a metal
It'll
rod.
be Amber from I'll always know what you did last summer, but played by a different actress.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And then Ray will be Zombie Ray for the
Yeah.
for the remainder of the franchise.
Yeah. Still played by Freddy though.
Sure. If he wants to come back. If not,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. He's a zombie. We'll find
Okay.
a new mask for him.
Yeah. Well, they can just make him look like Ben Willis and
Yeah, they
I'll
can just
always
put the
know.
little
Yeah.
fisherman gear on, and we know we don't see the face,
Yeah.
so it'll be a mystery. A mystery it'll be.
Lost Life vids. I feel like both left a lot to be desired. I will say Stevia because she barely made an impression and then let us
Mm.
down when it was time to bring it for the reveal. She's boring and looks too much like Eva. I feel
Ava, yeah.
well, this says Eva.
That's spelled
I
AVA
can't
though.
bel
I mean,
How do you even
EVA should be
remember? How do you know? Do you have it written down?
because in my notes I was writing down
Oh,
AVA because I could have sworn the fact that all the white people were saying Ava and not Eva meant that
yeah.
it was an AVA name, and then I checked at the end of the movie and it is an
All
AVA.
the white people, like her
Because white
friends.
people, if it were an EVA name, they would have been calling her Eva the whole movie. Ava is the pronunciation
How do you
of
know that they wouldn't have called her Ava?
because they wouldn't have. That's not a name.
Okay.
Apologies if anyone's name is Ava, but
If your name is Ava, you can go sit in the corner with Spence. Love you, Spencer. But also fuck you. Um, there's more.
oh,
I feel they should have left Ray alive to at least milk this turn or make the turn potentially more worth it.
mm,
Grant Dempsey. Hey, I know that guy. Well, they're both massive hypocrites, but I'm going to say Ray. Between the two of them, Stevie's hypocrisy is more forgivable because her grief is fresh, and I suspect Ray was more of a driving force behind their plan than Stevie was. And if that's
mm.
right, then she also had him exploiting her emotions. He, on the other hand, is almost 3 decades past the Ben Willis events, and he's no less guilty than Stevie is of having, in his own youth, gone right along with the plan to keep a deadly accident secret. In the OG, Barry was the first one to argue against calling the police, but
Mm,
Ray was second. Having said
hmm.
all that, I really like the Ray twist, at least in concept. Absolute hypocrite, yeah, but I buy it. His decade spinning response to trauma is more believable and interesting than 2018 Laurie Strode's, to my mind. The odd thing
Wow.
about it is that despite actually becoming the goddamn fisherman himself, Ray otherwise feels like a much softer character here than in the OG. And still, he doesn't have his characteristic Billy Blue mystery wild card dark loner vibe in this movie, which would have really helped bake his fisherman turn into the continuity.
Wow.
Always great to get a dig in on 2018 Laurie.
Also, I mean, I gotta say, I concur as far as just like the Ray of it all. I think it's probably the
Yeah.
most interesting thing they ever had him do was
Yeah.
be a villain.
Yeah, be the
Is that
killer.
it?
No.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
horror movie lover. I think they both need to die or live, not just
Mm.
one die and one live. I understand both of their motives. Stevie's motive was very clear, and she just wanted plain revenge on them. And so was Ray's motive. He didn't want what happened to him and Julie to be forgotten.
Okay.
Yeah. Marcus Connerly. I'm going with Stevia. I'm so glad that I made that a thing. I'm going with Stevia on this one. My love for FPJ makes me unable to vote for him. The further I get from my viewing of this movie, the less I like it. I like a
Mm.
lot of these lesser legacy sequels. Oh, sorry, like a lot of these lesser legacy sequels, had it just been its own movie without the ties to a franchise, I would have liked it just fine. But this wasted Julie and Ray and squandered the chance at a Julie Helen scene by having Danica have that vision instead. I hated them having Ray as a killer until Zack gave his theory about having Ray be the killer without Stevia. That could have been so much more interesting. The cast overall knew their assignment and did great. Teddy and Danica being my favorites, but they could have easily made Stevia more interesting by playing into her struggles with her sobriety since the accident. I get it, it's a slasher, we don't need too much depth, and use that as a part of her eventual death or survival. I know it seems like I'm crapping all over it, but I did have fun watching. Great job, as always, guys. Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks.
Van Days. I'm with Zachary. I wish it was just Ray as the killer in this instead of Stevie's unnecessary inclusion.
Mm.
Dark Davy Wavy. I love this movie. It hit all of my spots as a true fan of the original films.
Mm.
Spidey Matt, that ending was fucking bad. I don't know how they approved it. Adrian Phillips, Stevia, Steward, Stewie. Voting for Silver Fox Ray would be too easy. This movie really fumbled the bag, neither Ray having his long awaited unload it moment after shooting Stewie, nor a blast quip from Stewart after getting shot. They were out at sea, so they were primed to jump the shark. And Whale Wolf, Stevie, I actually think Ray was at his most likable in this movie. Laugh my fucking ass off. That's it.
Lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got first, right?
You're going first.
Okay, well, I'm going to bore everybody and make probably the most predictable choice that anybody would assume I would out of this movie. I'm picking Andrew Carver, and not just for the obvious reason, but first we'll go with the obvious. Like, huh? What are yeah, you're making noises.
No, you're like, and not for the obvious reasons, but I'm gonna go with the obvious ones anyway. Proceed.
We'll lead with them.
Yeah.
But I do have a take, because but first we'll go with the obvious. The obvious reasons is just like, there's a sexual assault, and not only just like by him, but like he's hired bodyguards. This seems to be like the protocol, apparently. And also, it's never excusable, but the fact that it is also just kind of like compounded by the fact that like this is a woman who was introduced to you as like your number one fan, and who, if you had just kind of like been romantic, she might have been amenable to a lovely evening of, eroticism and crossing boundaries, that she, doing things she hasn't done before, learning things about herself and everything. And you both could have like had a good time, but that's not a concern for him. So gross. Actually, and the fact that like, because this isn't a horror movie, he does not die, as far as we know, as far as in my imagination, in my head canon, he's left disfigured, which I think kind of affects, if not like his ultimate like long-term career, because I don't, that's another thing. It's so unclear what, when Molly makes her way out in that horrific reveal in public, everybody can see her. So is it just kind of known in Vegas upper echelon circles that this is how he rolls, and everybody's just kind of okay with it? It seems to be suggesting that this is a corrupt den of iniquity, no matter which tier of Vegas you're in. So yeah. So it seems corrupt and buried so much. But then this is the hot, not the hot take, but like the extra thing, in addition to all of the obvious reasons why he's a horrible monster of a person. Then the self-preservation is not even in check, as such that like when the woman who introduced you to the woman you group assaulted decides to call you and make an appointment to come over and see you one-on-one. Your bodyguards are outside of where you're staying, your suite, by a few rooms, it seems. And you're so convinced that she's okay with what you did that, I mean, again, he just seems like a dumbass. Like, I mean, there's not, and maybe it's, again, supposed to suggest that like he's so beyond consequences in his own mind that it just, it would never occur to him that he'd have to like have some kind of comeuppance. But I think I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's just so distasteful. And I know you said something about like the worst part of the movie being something else. For me, he is the worst part of the movie. You could airlift him out of the movie, and I would just watch the rest of the movie and I would feel joy. It's a part, I did sit through it this time, because usually I just fast forward or skip. But this time I did want to sit through it and go like, is it as brutal as I remember? And it is. It's not fun. And it's all because of him and his fucking bodyguards. So kill him. Kill him hard. Nomi, like, come on. Like, kill. Also, but I do love her drift after she does the thing. They're like, fuck you, fucker. And then Just drifts out of the frame looking all. She tries to own the room. And even while she's
Yeah.
stomping on the face of a rapist, she can't really do it the way Gina Gershon does, but she does it lovely in her own weird alien way. Okay, so that's my
Yeah.
case. How about you,
Yeah.
Zach?
Well, and just to add on to that, if he was dead, if they want to make that sequel that I was talking about, but the investigative journalists trying to track down Nomi Malone, would
Yeah.
if she had committed murder and killed the guy at the end, that would have added an extra layer to like the infamy of like this goddess show and this Nomi Malone character.
But if
Um,
he's disfigured, he could be the Mason Verger of this universe.
so you want to see him come back as the Mason Verger, just like
I
laying in
want
bed and just
I want him ruined. I want him suffering. Because this is the thing. It just makes for the Citizen Kane of it all, like all the people that the investigative journalists can
yeah,
interview on the way to Nomi.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be. It would be nice to know that he barely survived, and that he's like always in a perpetual state of seconds away from death. That's what I
Yeah.
would like.
My nomination is going to be Zach Carey.
Oh.
And for because I want to keep this short and sweet. He corrected her when she mispronounced Versace. And the reason why, because even what's his name, Tony, like the asshole was like, oh yeah, Versace, like just letting her have that, and they were like, yeah, 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 because that's the one part in the movie where he's like, it's pronounced Versace, that she seems genuinely heartbroken and embarrassed because and it's just and it's in her performance. She's like, oh. And that never comes across anywhere else. I think that was the harshest thing that anyone did to Nomi in the entire movie was correct her. At least reactionary.
I mean,
Go back and watch it when he's just like it's and then he's like, you got great taste. And she's like, oh thank like
I
nice
thought she
save.
was more hurt by the fact that she had already made a fool of herself in front of people and nobody told her. I thought that's where the embarrassment came from.
Absolutely. Well, it's there, but he uncovered it for her. And look, and normally like this is a little hypocritical of me because I'm always one to like correct things. I mean,
You?
well, and even more so you actually, but in this case, because we didn't talk about it and just and I say I want to keep this short and sweet to one point, and here I am prattling on. But anyway, that's why, because of the Versace shit. So there
And
you
not even
go.
the fact that was making out like he was going to help her, and that he called what's his name in to chastise him, and then
Well,
hey Phil, you fuckhead, get back up here.
well, that's implied. It's the whole package, but everything,
The fact
yeah.
that like I think the words, I'm gonna help you a little bit here. I think the words that hurt her the most were when he just unpacked her whole life, Eve Harrington style. He was the Addison DeWitt of that particular instance, just unpacking all of this truth on her and made her say the line that I opened this whole pod with: "I'm not a whore." And he even asks her like what she used to charge, and oh my God, so humiliating. He's an asshole. And they were lovers. They exchanged a very, albeit like kinetic, kind of like thrashy, but intimate moment with
Do
each
you
other.
it sounds like you want to trade nominations
No, I
with
don't want to
me.
trade. I like my
You're
nomination.
making my point for me.
Well,
So
you
thank
helped
you.
me too.
Yeah, well, that's what we do here at the Trade Paper. We
Yes, we
help
lift
one
each other
another.
up. We're not
Yeah.
a Nomi and Crystal.
Well, if we
Although,
were,
I mean, I'm older, so I guess I'm Crystal.
so I'm no, I'm the unstable whore.
And I'm the unstable queen.
All right. Well,
Neither one of them are stable.
if no, they are not. If you would like to vote, please do. Vote your heart and vote your conscience. You can vote several ways. You can head over to Patreon, where even if you are not subscribed, the poll is open publicly, so you can vote there. But while you stop over, think about throwing a little support and joining the community. Really appreciate it. It helps the podcast. You can also go on Instagram, follow us at the Cherry Picker Pod. You can vote there. And you can also vote on YouTube. If you are here watching us, make sure to subscribe. And if you would prefer to listen as well, or that's just more accessible for you, the RSS feed link is in the descriptions down below. Edward, where can they find you on the socials?
Oh, and I also forgot to mention that Versace dress that she wears, perfect. That's my favorite item of clothing. She doesn't wear a lot, but the one that she wears in this whole movie, when she puts on the Versace, Elizabeth Berkley, I think, looks perfect. You can find me on Instagram and Letterboxd, basically. Edward is Truth, one word, traditional spelling. If you see that on any other platforms, it's not me. I don't know if it's happening, but unless, I have my old YouTube channel too, but I don't really engage. But if you want to watch me react to movies, feel free. Zach, how about you?
You can find me on my main YouTube channel at Zack Cherry, ZackCherry. Instagram at Retro Bitch Face, Letterboxd Retro Bitch Face, Twitter ZackCherry8, and the Patreon is patreon.com/ZackCherry, ZackCherry. Obviously, no space needed there. Edward, what have we got going on next week?
It's the one with the running.
You can't really see because I only have a small...
the arms. You can't see my arms, but they're out at my sides and I'm running.
Yeah.
Weapons.
Weapons. Weapons.
I want to see. I haven't seen it yet.
I have not seen it yet either, so it's gonna be a fun one. Doing a few more new releases here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we will be right back.